smart mama.
Yes.
What are you making?
I'm making breakfast plus Peak 456 growing up milk.
Breakfast plus Peak 456 growing up milk?
It is fortified with DHA to support brain development.
Tell me more.
Cereal, pap, just name it. My kids love it with Peak 456 growing up milk.
Wonderful.
It also has calcium, vitamin D, and high quality protein to make your kids grow strong.
I love it. I will start nourishing my children with Peak 456 growing up milk, fortified with DHA to support brain development.
That's right.
Grow up strong and smart with Peak 456 growing up milk every day.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
When the weather becomes strict and everything becomes unsteady, the only way to go is tune to Today 95.1 FM. And the world of information, entertainment, and education will be served as breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Welcome to the show. You're listening to today's Quest. The newspaper review segment is what we've got.
Now who says I can't bring the party to your house right now? Because, even if it's raining, I still bring the heat right here.
I am here for you, and I know you are here for me.
It is surely the best 15 minutes of football you can find anywhere on radio.
Back here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. Today, 95.1 FM. Nothing but the best. Nothing but the best.
Emeka, biko, bia. What is it? How come Chukwudi, that guy, how come he's making more sales than us? And we are in the same line of business, eh?
Relax. Cool down.
Are you sure he's not using something? Eh? Ask him so that whatever he says, we can use it.
I'll meet him. It's my brother. Calm down. What is that thing you are doing? I'm your brother. What is that thing you're doing? Look at your shop now. It's always busy.
Look, my friend, it is very simple. I don't tell you this thing before, but
I am willing to go anywhere, any length. Just what is it you are doing? What is the secret?
It is very simple. See, just take your business, okay? Take your business, go to Today FM for adverts, and you will experience change.
Chukudi, stop this joke now.
I tell you, because now, as we talk so, their rates don't drop.
Chukudi, are you being serious?
I did tell you.
This man goes safe. Got Chukudi. Want buy something new? Got Chukudi.
You collect money. Chief Cafe, come now.
I come. Emeka, I need to go now. But don't forget though, Today 95.1 FM. Carry your business, go give them, and you will see change.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best.
Chukudi, Dalo, thank you very much.
Biko, be family.
Thank you.
Oh, don't gawk yourself. Spare your vote, just spare your future, spare your birthright. How much, sir? Divide them by 4 years. How much is that? No sell your vote, no matter the thing them they tell you.
Barack Obama once said, "There's no such thing as a vote that doesn't matter." As we approach the forthcoming elections, know this: the future of Nigeria is in the hands of the Nigerian voter. Vote wisely. My name is Victor Oriahi.
Hello, Nigerians. As you go out on election day, please take note. Whatever decision you make, you'll live with it for the next 4 years. My name is Chikeze Queen Chuma.
Elections come and go, but the impact of the choice you make in that few minutes stays for a long time. Do not sell your power to decide the government for the next 4 years, because no amount of money to sell your vote will last that long. Go out and vote. Hold on to your vote, but shun all forms of violence. My name is Reliable Reliance Sudonyen.
Time, they say, heals everything, but this surely is dependent on the choices we make. As you prepare to vote the candidates of your choice, make sure you introduce no bias, as tribal, religious, and political sentiment should not be the yardstick to choose your leader. Vote for competence. Vote for accountability. My name is Ezine Oti.
Dear Nigerians, as we head to the polls to elect our leaders for the next 4 years, let's shun every form of electoral violence and malpractice. Speak through the ballots, not guns. My name is Eval Edu, head of sports Today 95.1 FM. Let's vote wisely. Let's vote our conscience.
Follow them fight, so back to you, so long, let's speak up, you, so ginger, don't let anybody spoil them for you, the power is in you.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
You can never plan the future by the past. He who has a right to live can bear almost any house. Lost time is never found again. It is the province of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen. I don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. In the end. It is not the years in your life that counts. It is the life in your years. Make it count with us. Make it count with us at Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
To current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about.
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM. The station with a unique dial.
FM, Voice of the People.
And we're back.
Wake up. This is Today's Quest with Annie on Today 95.1. The best of sports, lifestyle, analyses, and much more.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
This is Today's Quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM.
lọ́jọ́ Saturday yìí. Wọ́n ṣe pàtí ní òwò lókè súná lẹ́yìnkùlé àwọn láti. Káládà kòsítúmù láwọ̀ kò ṣe la fi gbọ́nà sókè. Bàtà mi ti rẹ́dì. Káládà kòsítúmù láwọ̀ kò ṣe la fi gbọ́nà sókè. Bàtà mi ti rẹ́dì. Oh, we're happy people, and that's who we are. We're having fun with the children of the sun. Oh, we're happy people, and that's who we are. We don't care with the children of the sun.
Style. We're happy people, and we don't care, cause we are the children. Now, I'm sure Asa will kill me, and my dear listeners will murder me if I continue in that note. So let me let it be that the last, the last thing that you want to remember will be the amazing voice of Asa as she sang "Happy People." Let me not come muddle up the beautiful notes in your head. But I must think about a rock and roll version of that. Okay, Annie, stop it. Please pardon me. It's not my fault this morning. I had some really, really, really sugary cookies. And it happens. I'm on a sugar overdrive right now. I'll try and calm down. I promise I'll try. But I don't know if that thing happens to other people too. Does it? You go in a sugar overdrive? You've had too much sugar. Yep, and that's what's happening to me this morning. Welcome to the show. Anyways, you're listening to Today 95.1 FM. Today's Monday, the 13th day in the month of March, in the beautiful year of 2023. And I'm your host. I'll be here with you all the way till 12 noon. I promise that I will be here. You can go wherever you want to go, and I'll be right here But don't go for too long. You're permitted to go for a minute, 2, 3, say 4, max 5. But you've got to come right back because you're going to miss all the fun. Starting off with, over the weekend, how was your weekend? What did you do over the weekend? Saturday was pretty busy for me. A lot of house chores piled up, so I sorted that up, and errands and back and forth. Of course, after the morning show I had here with Dr. Richard Okoye, I had to run and do all of that. So I probably got back home and slumped on, say by 9:30ish after I sorted out all my errands. So Saturday was pretty hectic, but you see Sunday. Sunday saw shege in my hand. I didn't move a muscle. After the morning rituals and everything else that we're engaging in on Sunday mornings, I literally conferred myself onto the bed. I did not move a muscle. I binge watched movies. And let me just say it here. If I have ever met you before and told you that I am not into K-drama, I really am not into K-drama. But I want to tell you that I did watch K-drama all throughout of Sunday, and I absolutely loved the particular one I watched. And that does not mean that I am now a K-drama fan. No, I am not in that hype yet. Let's keep it. I think what has changed for me now is yet. There's a yet now. Before I used to say, no, I'm not copying that drama. I am not a K-drama fan. So maybe now I will say I am not a K-drama fan yet. There's a possibility it could happen. But I watched Alchemy of Souls, and my goodness, I couldn't let it go for a minute. I just kept watching in the next episode, and each episode is like an hour plus, and there I was sitting down and binging on it. So that was what Sunday was like, and then at some point I will stop and go check up what folks were talking about on the internet. It's just curiosity. I didn't die because I'm no cat. So I checked it out a couple of times, and I bumped into a particular tweet. A tweet was from Kingsley Moralu, and he was talking something that I felt was really, profound. I liked what he was talking about, I thought that it was something that genuinely should have created a forum for good discourse. But Nigerian people now, we're just one-kind people. We're happy people. Asha already said it. We're happy people, but we can be one kind sometimes. And I was wondering, there's nothing Kingsley said here that's kind of caused some sort of disfavor amongst the Yorubas, or throwing discord, or throwing, some form of division. He just appreciated a particular part of the Yoruba-speaking people, and, thought if there was anything more to it about those people from that area. And I'm just going to read his tweet for you, right? And I found it interesting, and it's going to be the base for which I'll ask my question this morning. So just stay with me for a moment now, would you? It says here, what is so special about Abeokuta? It's him, Mogalo here speaking now. What's so special about Abeokuta in Ogun State? Abeokuta. He says the town has produced almost exclusively Nigeria's political leaders from the southwest region. Olusegun Obasanjo, MKO Abiola, Ernest Shonekan, not to mention the Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka, Fela Anikulapo Kuti, and his famous parents. He went in to call Adetokunbo Ademola, the first indigenous Chief Justice of Nigeria, Dr. Moses Majekodunmi, former sole administrator of the Western region in 1962, the Williams brothers, Rotimi Timidolo Williams San, and Akintola Williams, Doyin of the accountancy profession in Nigeria. Further on in his tweet, he said, Simeon Adebo of the Civil Service and International Diplomacy, Justices Olumiyiwa Jibowu and George Showemimo, Amos Tutuola, author of The Palm Wine Drinkard, Professor Adeoye Lambo, and Madam Tinubu, the first Iyalode of Egbaland, after whom Tinubu Square in Lagos is named. And he went on to say Egbaland was an independent nation for 21 years before it was annexed to Nigeria as part of the amalgamation in 1914. The first newspaper in Nigeria, Iwe Irohin, was founded in Abeokuta in 1859. The first church in Nigeria, St. Peter's Anglican Church, was built there. He went on to say, now I don't want to start a civil war in Nigeria's southwest, but is it true that the most enlightened clan among the Yoruba are the Egbas? Now, I just found it that it was really intriguing that from Abeokuta, we had such amazing personalities emerge. Adetokunbo Ademola, the first indigenous Chief Justice of Nigeria, Dr. Moses Maje Kodumi, former sole administrator of the Western region in 1962, the Williams brothers, Rotimi Temidolo Williams, you've got Olusegun Obasanjo, MK Abiola, Ernest Shonekan, Wole Soyinka, Fela Anikulapo Kuti, his parents, Simeon Adebo, and then a list of other people. Then you've got Obafemi Awolowo. He wasn't from Abeokuta now. Abeokuta. No, it's Abeokuta I'm looking at, yes. He's from Ogun State, yes, but he's not from Abeokuta. And if you want to expand it further and you want to look at Ogun State, yes, then you have Obafemi Awolowo and then a host more other people from Ogun State, really. But I was just wondering, is it the water they drink? Is there something about Abeokuta and that region just seem to have produced these great people? Remember when we also spoke about the first newspaper in Nigeria? It was in Abeokuta. The first church, it was Abeokuta. Even though when I read through some of the tweets, people responded that, well, after Lagos, that Ogun State or this particular part, Abeokuta, were the first people to also meet the white man and interact with the white man. And the influence of meeting the white man, so they became more scholarly than other people. It might be the reason, or it might just be something in the genes. So I was thinking of getting married to somebody from Japan, so maybe I might just go to Abeokuta now and find myself some Abeokuta man. Emmanuel, would you come for the wedding?
And let the wedding first. Let's not gamble.
I might just be getting married to the person who might emerge the next president, or he might be something. Because it seems that if you come from Abeokuta, more likely than not will emerge famous for something spectacular. So this is what I'm looking. I'm not like Kingsley Moghalu, I'm not looking to find divisions. I think that, like Asha has said, we are all happy people. And I think every part of Nigeria has got its blessed lot of people. So if you're looking by clan, if you're looking by language, if you're looking by state, if you're looking by region, you will always find prominent Nigerians who are doing excellently or who have been famous in life, doing good things, who have been in leadership, who have been entrepreneurs, who have been captains of industries, who have just been, tremendous. And then there are people that you naturally would forget when you're talking about the history of a place or a people. And that's why for today, I want to know from your region, right? And I want to narrow it down to your region. I don't want to say the language you speak, because I could be speaking say Ijaw now, and I'm probably from Delta, and then there's another person from Bayelsa, and there's someone else again from River State who might be also speaking Ijaw. So I don't want to make it like, if it's the language you speak. I want to look at it that from your locality. So let's look at it from states. I think that's easier than for me to go to local government. So let's look at it by state. The prominent people, if you're looking at the history of your state and the people who have stood out, the good products, and I know that you listening to me are one. I want to believe that you are one of the good products that your state has produced. But then if there are other people you want to share that with me, please let's do that. We'll do that on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 070-1933-9962. We'll do that on WhatsApp. And just by the way, I was driving to work this morning and I saw a lady standing at the media, and she was trying to navigate. I think she was going to cross to the other side, and she had a baby. No, it's a baby now. That's a child. So like, say 2.5 to 3 years old. Cute little thing she had there. And they were in some deep discussion. There was a little bit of traffic, so I had time to watch them. They were in deep discussion. You'll have thought that she was having a deep discussion with somebody about her age, that's the mother now. And it was this little girl, and it was just a beautiful thing to see. And then they started laughing over something they had talked about. And the little girl got shy and started hiding behind her mom. And the mom will, bring her to the front again, and they'll talk, and she'll run behind. And it was interesting to see. And I wanted to just say, we're going through a difficult time, I know, but please look for something to make you happy. Sometimes we focus too much on the negativity. Like I said, I didn't do a lot of internet over the weekend because it just seems as if we're entering there and going into some dark hole. There are too many Nigerians who just want to say nasty things to each other, and we're just pulling ourselves apart. And I don't understand why we need to do so. that you speak a language different from me, you worship a God different from me, that you come from a place different from I do, but still within Nigeria, doesn't make you any different from I am. We're still trying to find a way out of this thing we call life. We're still trying to make meaning to it and bring sense as we try to progress. Everybody's got aspirations to be a better person. Everybody's got aspirations to have a country that is better than theirs. I might not be in the same sink as you are, but that doesn't mean that you want to tear me down and my people. I don't see why we want to throw that much hate. It's okay to disagree. I do not like what you said concerning that, or I do not agree with what you said. But to condemn an entire person by that one position they have. I think I've said it before here, and I said I might have a particular position concerning, let's say politics, because that just seems to be the tricky thing now. And there's a particular person that I think is a right choice because of certain things that has influenced my information or my decision. And then you say, oh no, that's not it, this, that. And we argue over that. You want to condemn me completely because of that. Meanwhile, maybe I'm out there and I'm helping the elderly. Maybe every weekend I spend time in, in the motherless homes, being attentive to kids who need such attention. Maybe every week I give out time to go to schools and educate them on my own. Maybe I'm in some charity doing some great stuff. Maybe in my neighborhood I'm the auntie or the uncle that kids would run to if they had issues to speak to. Maybe in my neighborhood I run extramural classes for kids who can't afford it. Or maybe, but you don't know all of that. You don't know what kind of excellent human being I'm doing. Aside from that one tweet I said, I support this person, I don't support that person for so and so reasons, and then you tear me down and condemn me and condemn my generation and the people who are... It's just nasty. Completely nasty. It's okay to disagree on that, but is that person also a fantastic human in other aspects, in other things? You don't want to know. As long as, no, you can't be supporting that person. You're supporting that person. You're the one that's kept me in this position. So thunder will fire you. Before you know it, it's not just thunder that is firing him. It's firing the people who are associated with him. It's firing the people who talk with her. It's firing any business deals she's doing. Come on now. We're better people. Like Asha said, we're happy people. So when I saw that woman and her kid, I just said, we can't be happy. See, look for happy. Look for it. Pursue it. You must vigorously pursue these things, because you'll find yourself in a cocoon of hate, and the only thing you know how to give will be hate. Because that's what you're receiving. Because that's what you're feeding on. That's what you're ingesting. If that's what you're feeding your soul, that's the only thing you know how to give up. And I think that we can be happy if we decide we will look for the happy. So part of what I'm doing this morning is to also show you that, apart from you having excellent human beings from where you come from, it happens in other places too. So we want to share that information and see if we can just generally be happy people this morning. Please do that on WhatsApp, like I said earlier, on 07019339962. Share that with me on WhatsApp. You can also do that on Twitter, hashtag happy people, and then tell me of the great people that come from your state, right? Tell me who, just call their names. If they're not too popular, because I might not know all of them, you want to tell me why they're this amazing. But if you think that's going to be too time consuming, just go ahead and write their names. If we don't know what they did, well, and you've put their names up there, that will suffice, I guess. So the numbers to do that again on WhatsApp is 07019339962, and then on Twitter you have to go on to Today95.1 FM's Twitter handle. Please do follow that handle at TodayFM951. And then you've got to tag me on that so I can see that as quickly as possible. My handle is at TalkAnnie, TalkAnnie. And of course, we'll be giving out freebies to as, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? 4 people. We'll just choose 4 people and give out stuff to them. I'll be looking at that after the 9 o'clock hour. I think that's enough now to get you going. By 9 o'clock, I'll read the few ones that I have either on WhatsApp or on Twitter. Twitter handle once more is at TodayFM951. Don't forget to copy me on that Twitter post so I can see that. And that is at TalkAnnie. ANNITALK at TalkAnnie. So from your locality, right, your state, Let me know the prominent people who come from that region, and we can share in your joy that your state is exporting great people. The newspaper review segment starts right now. It's 8:30. We have that up on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Today95.1 FM. Today 95.1 FM on Facebook. Please. You want to be a happy person, you need to go follow that page. So, starting off from the Vanguard newspaper, ACF, Ohaneze, Afenifere, others tackle Buhari over Naira redesign. ACF, Ohaneze, Afenifere, others tackle Buhari over Naira redesign. Policy, of course. And then you have gunmen kill 36 in Kaduna and Katsina. Gunmen kill 36 in Kaduna and Katsina. Women who will shape 10th National Assembly. We'll be looking at them, these amazing women, who will shape the 10th National Assembly. Disobedience to Supreme Court on Naira policy dangerous. This is what the ACF is saying as they warn Buhari. Disobedience to Supreme Court on Naira policy dangerous. ACF warns Buhari. Crisis looms in APC as calls for national chairman's resignation heightens. Crisis looms in APC as calls for national chairman's resignation heighten. Governors give Malami Emefiele Tuesday as ultimatum to obey Supreme Court. Governors give Malami Emefiele Tuesday ultimatum to obey Supreme Court. Game changer, how beavers turned heavyweights to paperweights. Game changer, how beavers turned heavyweights to paperweights. No going back, a nationwide protest, says Labour Party. You've got that in the Punch newspaper. No going back, a nationwide protest, says Labour Party. Traders count losses, says Fire Guts Port Harcourt Market. The Punch newspaper has that piece. Traders count losses, says Fire Guts Port Harcourt Market. Nigeria's electoral show of shame. The Punch newspaper has that piece. Nigeria's electoral show of shame. No credibility without integrity. The Punch newspaper. No credibility without integrity. Political dynasty, children, spouses of elite ruling class set for 10th National Assembly. It just seems to be like their living room, you know. Oh, okay, why? Come and go. You, madam, you too. Sisi? Everybody who's got long legs always seem to end up in the National Assembly. But we'll find out if that's true when we read that piece. Political dynasty, children, spouses of elite ruling class set for 10th National Assembly. Elumelu unruffled despite social media attacks. Completely love that man. Elumelu unruffled despite social media attacks. Elumelu is from Anambra State, is he now, Emmanuel?
No, I think Delta.
Delta State. So I guess anybody from Delta State, you want to put the name of great exports that you have from Delta State, Elumelu should be one of them.
What did he do?
And what hasn't he done? He's the captain of an industry, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I know.
Good, so that's it. It's good enough to be in that list. Must he be a Obafemi Awolowo before we recognize that he's doing great things? And I mean, he's always been out helping young people. He has a foundation, the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and that foundation has helped lots of young people. So
certainly.
I think he's. If you're from Delta State, though, I mean, it's not for me to say. If you're from Delta State and you think he's a great export from Delta State, go ahead. Wike and Mechi resume fight over Igbo votes for Gubo candidates. It's in the Guardian today. Wike and Mechi resume fight over Igbo votes for Gubo candidates. I mean, I don't know. It just crossed my head. I know we usually say no vote buying. That's the mantra, right, Emmanuel?
Yeah.
But at this point, I just feel like between Wike and Mechi, if I were Igbo, I was just going to put a price to it and say, well, since both of you are struggling so hard for this precious vote of mine, how much do you have there?
It's the business of the dark eye, so nobody will see exactly whether they will put a price or not.
I will certainly be one of those people who will be there. It's a good thing I'm not Igbo for today, because if I were there, I'm like, my brother Amechi, how much is in your offer? What game Wike? What do you have for me? Let me know.
Will he understand that thing you spoke?
Woke him. How won't he know woke him?
He will not understand.
He will understand very well. He's very, very well. He's looking for my vote, so he will know woke him. Economy sheds 20 trillion naira as policy weakens productivity. SMEs. You've got that there in the Guardian newspaper. Economy sheds 20 trillion naira as policy weakens productivity. Also in this day, now we move on to this day newspaper where we have U.S. diplomats, even supporters of winners in Nigeria's pool, disappointed with the electoral process. That's what U.S. diplomats are saying, that even supporters of winners in Nigeria's pool disappointed with electoral process. Article: Wike's 40-year-old whiskey comment confirms he's under alcohol influence. Article: Wike's 40-year-old whiskey comment confirms he's under alcohol influence. Oh, dear Lord. And as Nigeria struggles with crude theft, Saudi Aramco posts record $161 billion profits. As Nigeria struggles with crude theft, Saudi Aramco posts record 161 billion. We didn't say million here. 161 billion naira profits.
Is it dollar or naira?
Sorry, dollars. Did I say naira now?
Yes.
Let me drink some more tea to wash that mouth that I used to say naira. Dollars, please. Dolls. $161 billion. Profits. I can't stress that enough. But those are the stories that we'll be touching, just checking them out on our Facebook page. Let me start off with the top here, where we have Ohaneze, Afenifere, others tackle Buhari over Naira redesign policy, the Vanguard newspaper. And we have here Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, has told President Muhammadu Buhari that the much-touted benefits of the Naira redesign policy can never justify the damage to his credentials as a Democrat and a stickler for the rule of law. ACF statement came on a day Ohaneze Ndibo expressed a similar sentiment, asking the federal government to implement the Supreme Court judgment which ordered that the old 500 and 1,000 Naira circulate with the new notes. Secretary General of ACF, Murtala Aliu, who noted this in a statement yesterday, said the policy had led to runaway inflation in food and other commodities. Recall that the Supreme Court had 10 days ago held that President Muhammadu Buhari breached the Constitution of Nigeria in the manner he directed the CBN to redesign the Naira without consulting the National Council of States and the Federal Executive Council. It went further to rule that the unconstitutional use of powers by the president, the Naira redesign, has breached the fundamental rights of Nigerian citizens in various ways. The group said whatever the CBN or anyone else says about the benefits of the policy, which evidently are many, is of little comfort as soon as the highest court in the country has deemed that it is, or at least the manner of its implementation, breaches the law. The ACF also warned that the crisis had the possibility to morph into a serious social disorder, leading to the possible breakdown of law and order throughout Nigeria. The group said 10 days was long enough for the government to find its way towards complying with a court order, which import was central to the achievement of peace, order, and good governance in the country. The ACF noted that huge crowds and long queues form around bank offices and ATM points across the country as people struggle to get new cash, which had remained extremely scarce. It has triggered riots and other forms of civil unrest. President Buhari is under oath to defend the Constitution of Nigeria. As his long-term supporters, it will be remiss of us if we fail to warn that the much-touted benefits of the Naira redesign can never justify the damage to his credentials as a Democrat and a stickler for the rule of law. This is what the ACF said. Now, some state governors have persistently argued that the policy which permitted the CBN to place an embargo on the circulation of old 500 and 1,000 Naira notes while not providing their replacement in sufficient quantity, had triggered severe cash shortages and chaos in the country, leading to runaway inflation in food and other commodities. So the ACF is saying, look, we've got to tell you, President Buhari, that what's going on now is setting the precedence for chaos, and that this is doing a lot of damage to your credentials as a Democrat and a stickler for the rule of law. They expect that after 10 days that the president should have been able to enforce the rule or the judgment gotten from the Supreme Court. Mano, what do you think?
Good morning, honey.
Oh, good morning, Mano.
Good morning, Nigeria. Well, I think CF is just giving the kind of advice anybody, even individuals, will volunteer to the president. Because we've said, yes, truly, he is the president of the nation. But of course, he is leading the nation within the confines of the law. of this particular nation. And I think one of the facilities or instruments that indeed could give orders that should be followed will be the Supreme Court. And if the president heard that the Supreme Court said A or Z and does not do as if he's listening to that, I don't understand what it means. You know, since that particular order came out from the Supreme Court here and the Mefele, maybe I'm not hearing well. I've not heard anything they said. No. And I don't understand. You know, when this issue came out, and CBN kept on consistently saying they had given out the new notes and all that to banks, I said, where are the new notes if you've given them? Up till now, if Nigerians are seeing the new notes, they may not bother much about the old ones.
We just want
Nobody will talk about that. But you are not seeing the new ones. Then where are the new Naira notes that Mefele, they said they spend this and that and then produced or whatever? I don't understand what is going on in this country. It seems nobody is maybe able to checkmate. Perhaps Mefele is hiding under the influence and authority or the huge image of the president, which of course his position has given him. If not, I think what should be done is that they, the president in particular, should have listened to that. It wouldn't mean see, if the president leaves office, as Arewa people are saying, and then his credential is jeopardized because of this single disobedience to the Supreme Court, it will dent his credential of being a Democrat.
Well, he doesn't
That
care.
is if he's a Democrat.
He's a Democrat. I agreed he's a Democrat. Let's even run with that.
It's all right.
But do you think that man wants to run for any other office again?
No, he won't, of course.
So
and sometimes if you do something, you rest now.
That's what I'm saying.
He cannot do
if
it.
it's damaged, Emmanuel, it would damage his credential. It is messed up. Will that bother him?
Well,
he's not going to run for any position anymore.
No, Annie, just like Chief Obasanjo is. It's a reference point as it were. Anything at all, you refer to him.
That's what I'm saying.
But if this one stays without anybody making any reference to former President Buhari, because you won't go and say, glaringly.
You can't speak about history without calling him.
No, what I'm saying, as for history, yes, he will be in the roster. What I'm saying is, certainly, you are saying, President Buhari had a way of handling this kind of policy and all that. So why not we go and learn from him? Now, if he flagrantly disobeyed the Supreme Court and all that, nobody will ever say, this one in the daytime will not listen to the Supreme Court.
Even Obasanjo, many times do we say, Obasanjo did great, let's go learn. Or Jonathan did great, let's go learn. So I think about the only person that we even appreciate so far and we think, he did something laudable will be Yaradua. And because Yaradua was there very short-lived. And because he came and said, elections were flawed, and that is the one thing we hinged on.
Unfortunately, he didn't live long. So
perhaps to dispel
a lot of things he would have done well or not, we don't know.
Exactly.
But you see, President Buhari, fortunately for him, is from the Arewa section of the country, should also listen to his brothers.
All right, Daddy Manuel. We got your thoughts on that. We have joining us this morning Dr. Obidima without the JP, journalist and international affairs analyst. It's great to have you here this morning.
And, I don't know who has bewitched you. They don't want to rest on this case.
And I asked him the same thing.
Good morning.
I can't imagine that I'm not saying JP. Because it just comes out usually Dr. Obidima JP. So now, instead of just saying the J by mistake, I've now decided to put without.
No. I think you should unlearn this.
Okay.
Whatever you have learned before.
Give me time. It takes a while. It takes a
I will take it for a deliverance.
Dr. Obidima, great to have you in the studio this morning.
Good morning. Anyway, you see, the situation is quite a complicated one. Complicated in the sense that CBN was not in court. CBN was not a party to that process. It was the federal government. And if you look at the CBN Act, Naira redesign must be approved by the president. So, and it was also not in court. The person that was taken to court, now Supreme Court has given a judgment that the two should run together till December this year. So Mefle will be waiting for the person who approved and who was also taken to court to ask him to implement the court judgment. People should not be focusing on Mefle and CBN. If CBN was a party to that matter, then we'll begin to talk of contempt. So the people who went to court creatively removed CBN governor to get what they want as fast as possible. Now, why are we now recurring to drawing the attention of CBN? CBN may actually do nothing until the president says whatever. Whether that is affecting the economy, it is. Whether it's affecting the citizens, yes, it's biting. This is I was discussing with Dr. Chie Jechumo last night. I said, look, this electoral act and this Naira redesign would have been a kind of legacy that would have covered Buhari's malfeasance all these years. Leaving office, that we can now point at, say, look, this man really, in the dying days of his administration, he came out with certain policies that could give a new face to new Nigeria. Well, unfortunately, the Electoral Act 2022, which we applauded, the beavers, the technology that is associated to it, all failed. And in the process that Buhari would have redeemed himself, in the process this thing appeared to have collapsed. That Buhari would have called on the INEC chairman. What are you doing about this? It's causing an embarrassment. Why is it that the system have failed? It should address the issue immediately. If Buhari have made that call that this is causing an embarrassment, this is not what Nigerians are expecting. At least, whatever that happens, Christian will be given that he has done the needful, and there's no how INEC chairman will go on in the process of collation and the announcement of results. But Buhari squandered that opportunity. Now this Naira redesign, I think he has kept mute. We are all going through it. Inflation is high. The economy is down. We are losing a lot of billions of Naira because of very weak economic situation we find ourselves. In other words, Buhari is leaving office a man that has eventually brought this nation down.
Got your thoughts on that, Dr. Bitima? We've got Engineer Ehiage.
Yes.
Ehiage Shepherd. He's a social analyst. Great to have you here with us. Good morning.
Thank you, Annie. Good morning.
Good morning. So
good morning, Port Harcourt.
What's your thought here when the ACF says, look, Buhari, we're your biggest supporters, but we've got to tell you the truth here. You need to obey. It's been 10 days now.
Yeah.
And this is doing a lot of damage to perhaps your wonderful name in this case. What do you think?
Well, there is people, and that's why they even try to be lenient. Calling him, this issue is trying to dent his wonderful name. In the first place, does Buhari has a wonderful name? Because all this that is playing out for me, it's as a result of incompetence and lack of empathy for the people of this country, Nigeria. Okay, now, as he has said, the onus lies on Mr. President to come out and talk, because he is actually the one that signed the redesign of this Naira. And the CBN governor is also waiting for him. And that's why you see today, because none of them has come out to speak, nobody is collecting even the old Naira notes. The few that has been released and the few that has been in the hands of few persons that is circulating, nobody is collecting it. I still have some old Naira notes, nobody is collecting. Why? Because people believed that Mr. President and Emefiele has not come out to speak to the people. So it's really a very sad situation that Nigerians have found themselves, that we have leaders that don't actually care. They don't bother about what happened to the people. Now, he also made reference to the beavers issue. That's why I said it's all about, for me, it's incompetence and lack of empathy, for the people of this country. And another thing that even bothers me more now is that now, we now buy naira with naira. And now, I am sensing a very big trouble that might come later on, that we are not even seeing now. That it might come a time, or even right now, banks, the few notes that are in the banks, they are selling it. The bankers are selling it. So you see people go to bank, they buy money, and come out and sell it to citizens. Imagine collecting 5,000 naira with 2,005. For me, that is demonic. That is the highest, that's the height of wickedness. And Nigerians are fast learners. We are learning from Buhari. Because one, he does not obey court, he doesn't obey court orders. He doesn't have pity on anybody. He's so stiff. He feels that he can do anything and get away with it. And Nigerians are learning from him. And that is why you see this wickedness everywhere. Everybody tends to be very wicked. We use every little opportunity to extort ourselves, to wicked ourselves so much. So I don't know. We talked about making reference to Buhari after he has left office. Even if we are to make reference to Buhari, it will be on a very negative note, not on a good note. Because the little opportunity he had to actually redeem himself, he has squandered that opportunity, which is this Manara redesign and the beavers issue. I don't even want to go to beavers for now because it's a disaster. So I just hope that these few months that is remaining is able to actually come out and do the needful. Nigerians are suffering heavily. Fuel issue is there, naira money is there, everything is just messed up. Do you know, yesterday a lady was, came to my wife and said, madam, I beg, can I get some cash from you? Because for 1 week now, my children have not been to school. Why? Because there's no money. It's not like this woman doesn't have money, but no cash. She wanted to collect 10,000 naira. They are telling her to bring 5,000 naira. Now, if 5,000 naira, if you now remove 5,000 from the 10,000, who know that might even be the last money he has in her account, and you are telling her to bring 5,000. How much is now remaining? For crying out loud, it's like most time when we talk like that, like this on radio, it's like this. Whether they even listen, I don't know. They don't even whether they listen or they even know what Nigerians are going through. I don't know. The whole thing is just so annoying and irritating. Seriously.
Engineer Hage, we got your thoughts there and your feelings on that.
Yes, Dr. Bidibma said that the CBN was not in the suit. Nigerians are not even after with that CBN.
Is it the suit or not?
The issue is that while CBN was not in the suit, Emefiele was having a parley with Buhari, and then instructions were given to him on what to do. What happened now that it seems they have distanced from themselves? That is the question, and not whoever was in the suit. When it goes to legal issues, we talk about who was part of the suit or not. But right now, we are talking about execution of an order that concerns generality of Nigerians. It's not whether CBN was part of the suit or not. In fact, it's less important. In fact, it does not exist. What we need is, look at banks. You remember, banks said they will not do anything because the regulatory body has not spoken. And heading that is Emefiele. He has not spoken truly. And he's been speaking even while he was not part of the suit. So why is it now that it seems there's darkness?
When did he speak when he was not part of the suit?
Thank you very much. You remember when he came out and issued a threat to these, what is it called? These people that sell this money. POS operators.
Yes, operators, yeah.
It was in the heat of that, the case had been fired and all that. Emefiele came out and said, those who were selling this money, they will do this and arrest them and all that. Up to today, nobody has even been arrested.
Before they went to court, Emefiele has been talking about the POS people. That was not because of the court issue. Emefiele had been speaking about the POS people who were charging too high to make exchange for the old notes. He spoke about that. Remember that he also did mention that part of how they were going to get to the people in the hinterlands was they were going to use, this kind of people, the POS people. So that was part of his plan already in how to get the naira circulated more. So I don't think that particular comment he made had anything to do with this suit.
Well, I think so myself.
I will agree with
Dr.
Dr. Obedima that he hasn't really said anything concerning this issue as it went to court. When the governors took the case to court, Omefe didn't say anything.
No, but he shouldn't.
He didn't say anything. That's what I'm saying. He didn't say anything towards that matter. When the president made a report after that, it was the president who spoke, remember?
Yes.
When the president said something, Emefiele reacted to that and went on ahead to give order that they should go ahead and circulate the old 200 naira.
200 gold.
After that, again, when the court gave this judgment, nobody has said anything. I don't see why I want to drag Emefiele into it and say Emefiele said something before, so he needs to say something.
No,
Emefiele never said anything concerning the court issue.
Anne, what we are saying, what particularly Manuel Dukwe is saying, Emefiele as the head of CBN, right now, that particular order from the Supreme Court, it is the president that is involved. Agreed. But the president had been having discussions with Emefiele before, even the court case. He has been doing that. And you remember when this issue started, even the finance minister did not accept. But the president said, Emefiele came out. That particular one, it was Emefiele himself that said that the president was behind it. You can now see it. And Emefiele should not speak on this because the CBN is not even in the suit. It's not part of the suit. But what we are saying, in the execution of this order, even though it's directed at the federal government, Emefiele is involved, completely involved. Because just like the bank said, they are regulators. There's no other person that will give instructions as to what monetary issues, if not the CBN governor. So for me, whether a CBN is involved or not, is not the issue.
Yeah, but we should know that from the CBN Act, CBN is not totally independent. Yeah. They still have to get approval of certain things by the president. Okay. You get the point?
Yeah. And that's
so,
what I'm saying now.
Then the president is the one who issued order for the old 200 naira note to be recirculated.
Yeah.
And the CBN implemented it.
Thank you.
Now, order was given by central bank against the federal government. Now, Emefiele is not in a position to implement without.
I agree.
The judgment is not before him. He must wait for federal government attorney general of the federation to now abreast him with the judgment and ask him to implement, to a kind of obey the court order. Where Emefiele is waiting and the federal government has not done that, we should not shave his head.
Let him be waiting.
But no,
it's not right.
But my question will be, now, since it seems as if the CBN and the president, they are not ready to actually obey this court order.
We should be talking the box on the president's table.
So the question now is who should compel the CBN now to implement
the president
the court order?
Is the president.
And in the case, because from every indication now, it's like the president is not ready.
Yeah, if it's not ready,
what should we be looking like that?
Is the central bank the president? Is the central bank governor?
Okay.
Is he the president?
It's all right. It's not the president. Let's leave that for now. So Emefiele calling to the show. All right. We have that story up on our Facebook page. You can go ahead and read about it, and then let's get your thoughts on that. Ohaneze, Afenifere, others tackle Buhari over Naira redesign policy. Then when we do return, we'll be looking at gunmen killed 36 in Kaduna and Katsina. Gunmen killed 36 in Kaduna and Katsina. The news update comes up next. Stay with us and don't touch the dial.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdul Salam. The Independent National Electoral Commission has denied that it has refused political parties from inspecting election materials as ordered by the appeal court. INEC National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, made the clarification when he spoke on a television interview. Okoye advised lawyers of the agreed political parties to channel their requests appropriately, adding that INEC at the national level does not conduct election, but at the state and local government level. He said INEC will direct the parties to the appropriate place where they can get the materials they are looking for. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has criticized the federal government over its threat to shut down broadcast stations. The government, through the National Broadcasting Commission, had last week said it will shut down broadcast stations found culpable of using their platforms to undermine the peaceful coexistence of Nigeria. Following a meeting between NBC's Director General Balarabe Ilela and broadcast stations on the coverage of the February 25th Presidential and National Assembly elections, the Commission said it will not hesitate to revoke the license of broadcasters threatening the peace of the country. In a statement, Serap urged President Muhammadu Buhari to instruct the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, and the NBC to urgently withdraw the last warning and threat to revoke the licenses of broadcast stations over their coverage of elections and post-election matters. The governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party in Rivers State, Senator Magnus Abe, has again reassured that his administration will provide a better place for great opportunities in the state if elected as governor of Rivers State. Senator Abe said this while speaking to a group of Igbo community in Rivers State who came out in their numbers to endorse him as their sole governorship candidate. The SDP governorship candidate said his administration will focus more on new ideas that will make a total difference in the lives of Rivers people through the creation of an environment that will accommodate all living and doing business in the state. And now to the foreign thing, U.S. has accused Iran of making cruel false claims that a prisoner exchange has been agreed between the two countries. Iranian Foreign Minister Hosseini Amir Abdullahian revealed that a deal had been struck, which will probably be carried out soon. But a White House security spokesperson denied this, saying Iranian officials did not hesitate to make things up. Amir Abdullahian had told state media that an agreement had been reached in the recent days, and if everything goes well on the U.S. side, both countries will witness a prisoner exchange in a short period. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. And sure you take advantage of this coming election to elect the leaders of your choice. To have a great morning.
Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Mama Rukewe. Yes, oh, Mama Priye, they come, quick. Wetin happen? Mama Bariko tell me say dem follow Papa and Mama Chimene go collect plenty wrapper and bag of rice. You mean am? Yes, at least pikin go see wetin to chop go school. But why they no call us now? Abeg, now we dey share all these plenty goodies. Mama Rukewe, you know say na election season. I hear say na one politician like that. Wetin be that in name? I don't forget but na dem share am. I even hear say dem dey share new naira notes. Make you no make noise. It don't finish. Abeg, make I go collect my own. God of miracle, na my papa. Neighbor, welcome. Thank you. Make them no say I be wicked neighbor. Mama Oche, come make we go collect rice. Abeg. I know they follow on go anywhere. Abeg, I know what they collect rice every 4 years. I be the one way on our collect for 2019. Not before toilet end so. Shebi, I tell you, Mama Rukewe. Say this Mama Oche no they ever like better thing no. Na to they suffer she just like enemy of progress. That one concern you. As for me, I know they sell my vote to anybody for bag of rice. We go still end for toilet. If not for myself, but for my pikin them and their generation to come. Make them for see better future to look forward to. So for that reason, Mama Oche, I go vote for the best candidate of my choice. We go really change this country for the best. So that all of us, we go see better life. And I go advise you now, make una do the same. That one you go take and advise yourself. As for me like this, I dey go collect my wrapper and bag of rice. Wait first. Mama Priye, na true Mama Oche dey talk. Make we no sell our vote. Na our children future be that. Our future and our children future. Me, if I say I no go follow you again. Una don't hear. Make una no sell una vote. To sell your vote, not to sell your future. So, as this election they come so, make una shine una eye. Shine your eye where. This message now from Today 95.1 FM. Now we be the voice of the people.
Radio Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
When I wake up in the morning, I need something to help me start my day. Start my day. Pick 4, 5, 6 has DHA. It helps my brain to grow. It helps me to be smart. Oh, my own milk. Oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk. Oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk. Oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk. Oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah.
La 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 la. Smart mama.
Yes.
What are you making?
I'm making breakfast plus Peak 456 growing up milk.
Breakfast plus Peak 456 growing up milk.
It is fortified with DHA to support brain development.
Tell me more.
Cereal, pap, just name it. My kids love it with Peak 456 growing up milk.
Wonderful.
It also has calcium, vitamin D, and high quality protein to make your kids grow strong.
I love it. I will start nourishing my children with Peak 456 growing up milk, fortified with DHA to support brain development.
That's right.
Grow up strong and smart with Peak 456 growing up milk every day.
See, everybody with Imun Wahala. Every day comes with its own version of challenges, and you have to be ready to face them, because only then can you move on to the next. That's why I never miss my breakfast. Scratch that! My peak protein breakfast with the nutrients and energy I need to face each day, one challenge at a time.
Every day is a good day to power on with Peak Protein Breakfast. Have you had yours? Peak. Reach for your peak.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Did you know that there are over 8 million listeners connected to our frequency, covering 6 states across 2 geopolitical zones? Take advantage of our reach of people get to know about your business. Give us a call now on 0818-389-2850. Again, 0818-389-2850.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back. Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
Past 9, and you are listening to Today 95.1 FM. Let me see if we've got anybody telling me about the people from their, not region now. Hold on, I'm saying region. I'm talking about state. I was particular. I said, tell me about the exports from your state. The personalities that your state has exported. The great personalities. Now, don't go tell me the crooks. But I'm going to read yours, even though you went ahead to tell me about your region. Good morning, Annie. People who make national names from my region and locality, North Central is my region. They are late Olushola Saraki, late Audu Abubakar, late A.T. Ahmed, Natasha Akpoti, IBB, the Maradona, Late Abdurrahman Okene, the first chairman of the ACF. Momo Enehe, the first local councillor in Kogi. And that person happens to be your late grandfather. And finally, Dino, the only man who spent 13 hours on a tree. You come from a rather interesting place. You've got Dino from there. Okay, that's Kogi State now. So maybe, yeah. And I think that when Kogi used to be part of Kwara State, so I can understand Olushola Saraki, because at some point you guys were from the same state. Late A.T. Ahmed, Natasha Apoche, amazing woman. IBBs from Niger State, Maradona, and late Abdurrahman Okene, the first chairman of the Ariwa Consultative Forum. All right, so we got your thoughts on that there, but thank you so much for sharing. And then this is from Annie. Good morning. My community has famous people like Mazi K.O. Mbadiwe, Mazi Mbonu Ojike, Mazi L.N. Obioha, Mazi C.N. Obioha, Adamazi Onyeka Onwenu. Where's Onyeka Onwenu from? Anambra State now? Yeah, okay. And many more others. We are all from Aron D. Zogo, Imo State. Onyeka Onwenu is from Anambra. She's Imo. It's okay. We're all, why am I calling them? We're all from Aron D. Zogo, Imo State. Maduka from Ahode West. Amazing people. But this other one you called, I know Mbadiwe. Yes, Mbono Ojike. Who is that? Mazi Mbono Ojike. Ah, okay. That's why I don't know that one. But I think I pretty know everybody else that you mentioned. Amazing. You see, Imo State's exports are beautiful too. Good morning, Annie. Is it better? We're told by this government we're in a monarchy. Favor from Enika, I have no idea what you're talking about. So until you come out completely and say what you want to say, I don't know what you're talking about if we're running a monarchy. Yeah, somebody has come in to say Onyeka Wen is from Imo State. Yes, we sorted that out. I made the mistake to say Anambra. Good morning, Madam Annie. I am from Isukwato in Abia State. We have Lachi Donalds, Ada Ehi, Azubike Ihejirika, Alvan Ikoku, Mary Ikoku, Okeziekbeazu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ike Nwachuku, Chima Nwafo, Blessing Nwagba, Eukaria Oluchi Nwaichi. Imanda, who is that? Acho Nwakama, Otto Sireze, Obi Young, Ihe Nacho Obioma, Uche Oga, Chinedum Einaya Oji, Osisi Kanko. Who is Osisi Kanko? Is it Osisi Kanko that calls into the show? All right, Osisi Kanko. Aruma Ote, she's from Isukwato. Alex Oti, Nkechi Blessing Sunday, Ezuche Ubani, Onyema Ugochukwu, Ebutu Ukuwe. How do you spell? Ebitu Ukuiwe. Ikiwo. It's O at the back. All right, okay. Ukiwo. Then Omaukpai. Omaukpai is from Isukwato.
It's like this guy is just giving names. Omaukpai is from Africa.
I was wondering.
Two keywords from America.
Adelphos Wabara.
From Asahi. So he's just naming.
All from Abia State. I think it's just Abia State. You are from Isukwato in Abia State, but then I think all these people are Abia people. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Umaupai, Adolphus Wabara, Chuku Wachuku, Jaja Wachuku. And then you said you won a freebie last week. What was that for? Okay, I think, yes, you're the one that won from... Yeah, but... Who? For Jaja Wachuku. He's from Ebony. Well, he did, maybe... At one point. Okay. I'll find out why you haven't gotten your freebie yet. What's your name now? But we'll get across to you as soon as possible, I'm sure of that. Okay. So let me just quickly get back to the papers. I did promise that I'll take some. Maybe when next I come, I'll check out the ones that we've got from Twitter. Oh, let me just do that now quickly because of time. This is from Esoigbe Kennedy, and he says, Annie, I'm from Imo State. We've got great people like Onyeka Owenu, Kanayo, King Jaja of Opobo, Genevieve Naji. King Jaja of Opobo was an export to River State. I think he was a slave, and somehow ended up being the king of Opobo. And then Today FM, we've got, this is from the bread seller. It says we have Chibike Amechi, Dumolulu Briggs and family, Sam Granville Abibo. I don't know which state you're talking about. You should have indicated your state, even though I know two personalities are from River State there, but I needed to know. Okay, this is where you started from. I'm from River State, where I come from. We have Rotimi Chibike Amechi, Dumolulu Briggs, and Granville Abibo from River State. Okay, we got you through on that. Sam Mbakwe is from Imo State. This is from Young Warlock. All right, thank you. I'll get back to Twitter. All you have to do is do hashtag beautiful happy people and tell me from your state who are the great exports from your state, great Nigerian personalities from your state that are prominent across Nigeria. That's what we're looking at this morning. You can do that also on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 070-1933-9962. 070-1933-9962. And on Twitter, we are at TodayFM951. And I said, please copy me at Talk Annie so I can see that as quickly as possible on Twitter. So let's get back to the story that we said we'll check out when we do return. That's gunmen kill 36 in Kaduna and Katsina. No fewer than 36 persons have been killed by gunmen in Kaduna and Katsina, while gunmen killed 17 persons in Zangon Kataf local government of Southern Kaduna State. About 19 villagers were killed and 15 others injured during a Saturday clash between vigilantes and terrorists in Kankara communities, Katsina State. The attack in Southern Kaduna, perpetrated by several gunmen who were said to have stormed Zangon Kataf local government area at about 7 p.m. on Saturday, led to the death of no fewer than 17 persons. Zangon Kataf is one of the local government areas in southern part of Kaduna that has witnessed killings over the years due to a complex number of problems, including farmer-herder conflicts. The Labour Party gubernatorial candidate Jonathan Asake hails from the local government area. One of the residents informed that the gunmen in their large numbers came at about 7 p.m. yesterday. The resident said via telephone on Sunday. As I'm talking to you, we have so far recovered 17 corpses. Following the killing, the Zangon Kataf local government administration has imposed a 24-hour curfew. The media aide to the local government chairman, Yobo Ephraim, said the curfew will enable the army to restore peace and order in the affected areas, saying in a terse statement, a 24-hour curfew has been imposed on Ungwan Juju, Mabuhu, Ungwan Wakili, and Zangon Oban with immediate effect. This is to allow men of the Nigerian army to restore peace. On that axis, spokesman of the Kaduna State Police Command, Mohammed Jalige, who confirmed the attack, among others, said after the briefing I received from the area commander, trouble started a couple of days ago when a boy rearing cattle was murdered. We have been trying to manage the situation while investigating the sad occurrence before trouble broke out. A joint security team will be combing the bushes in the area on Sunday afternoon to search for bodies either early. They will also apprehend the suspects responsible for the killings. We're on top of the situation and all the hoodlums responsible will be rounded up. But for the timely intervention of joint security personnel coordinated by the area commander, the terrorists will have had a field day. Repelling the hoodlums was a tedious task for security agencies, but they were successful as the terrorists scampered from the scene. Not any of them caught. They all see from Mutua. It means the owner of the bed of death.
The owner of the bed of death.
Mekatifa Mutua.
It's all right. So he'll keep on killing so that they'll be forming his bed.
Lord help me. Anyway, they say he's a kingpin of, the hoodlum. So I'm not surprised he has that kind of name. Well, they said this hoodlum or the kingpin was identified as Mekatifa Mutua before the bloody clash between some of the hoodlums and the vigilantes. According to the source, between 3 and 4 p.m. yesterday's Saturday, we learned that some vigilante members clashed with some of the bandits who came to Majifa village to attend the wedding ceremony of one of their leaders, known as Katifa Mutwa. The clash eventually led to the invasion of nearby villages in the area by the hoodlums, shooting sporadically. The source said the terrorists killed 5 persons in Gurubi and another 13 persons were killed between Majifa, Makera, and Gidan Jifal settlements. Continuing, the source also confirmed that the terrorists invaded over 10 settlements in the area, including Gurubi, Damarke, Majifa, Gidan Baso, Gidan Sarka, Gidan Jiho, Gidan Ancho, Gidan Sanka, Gidan Mangoro, Gidan Sali, and among others. As of late Saturday night, the remains of 18 villagers attacked and killed were recovered, while 15 others who sustained various degrees of injuries in the clash were taken to Kankara General Hospital for medication. But Emmanuel, I noticed that the week preceding the presidential elections, it was pretty calm all over Nigeria. You know, we didn't hear of these attacks coming in the way we saw them spike after the elections. I mean, almost immediately after the elections, remember we talked about the killings in Benue State? And then now we're reading about killings in Kaduna, in Katsina. It just seems as if, for some reasons, they decided to hold on whatever was their grievances and wait till the elections were over.
Maybe they are holding on for elections, Annie, to know those who will be elected, so that they will see whether they are their people. You see, what I see that even these hoodlums, they have whoever is in authority. They have those who are close to them and who are not. But whether that particular person who is close to them will be pandering to their ideas or whatever they wish, I don't know. But every man has those who are for or against him. So seeing them maybe put on the brakes, just let's survey and know exactly how the situation is before we come back either to strike or not. And now, as elections are postponed, it has angered them. I said, why should this thing, you should have done with this and let us know. Out. But who knows, they may have some other thing up their sleeves.
All right, Emmanuel, what are your thoughts on that? Let's get to Dr. Bidima.
We're in a country that killings appear to mean nothing again. You know, that human feeling that comes when somebody is assassinated or killed or dead. You know, we seem to have come over such situations in our humanity, and it's quite problematic. Like you rightly pointed out, I think after the elections, about 36 or 38 persons were killed in Benue. And there was even a second attack also after that first one within these last 2 weeks. Now we're hearing about Zango Kataf, about 17 or so people killed. And what is really quite worrisome in this is the lackadaisic approach and response of government and security agencies towards these attacks. How can somebody come and tell us that these people escaped? You know, how did they escape? Where did they escape to? The wedding they came to, the wedding of their kingpin. So it means their own kingpin also escaped with the newly wedded wife, and maybe it's untouchable. Well, all that I can see in all these things is that some set of people, some group of people in this country has cultivated this sense of entitlement that Nigeria is their own, because they feel that a certain people who they will ever endorse to rule this country, they will never come against them, because they are believing in ideology that some of them also believe, but pretend not to believe. If not, how can somebody that was fingered as aiding the abduction of Chibok girls be declared as a vice president today? Nothing from the beginning was questioned, no interrogation and all those things, and till now he's become a vice president-elect. No, there's not a... How can these people not push for this kind of entitlement? It will be worse in the years to come, because we don't see a Muslim ticket checkmating. This aberration, we don't see it. I don't see it. So Nigeria should be prepared to, especially Nigeria should prepare to defend themselves, because we don't know the next security architecture of the country, how it's going to be. That's what we are not quite clear now. If it is skewed the way it is in Buhari's administration towards the particular religion, then we'll begin to now know that there's something quite ominous.
Okay. All right, we've got your thoughts there. Let me get done to Engineer Hiagi.
Okay. It's quite an unfortunate incident. But it's not the first time such a thing is happening, because it has been condoned over the years. It has become a normal thing. Life has no meaning again in Nigeria, because killing has over time been condoned by those that are supposed to actually put a stop to these things. But the thing is, the question these guys should have been asking themselves is, what do you gain by killing a fellow man like you? You know, I've actually seen criminals, they beg the more when the death comes to them. They beg the more. It's easy for them to do all kind of wickedness, but when it comes to them directly, you see them peeing on their body, you see them begging. So the question should be, what do you gain by killing your fellow human being? You just enter a community, you slaughter people, and you run. On what basis? What do you plan to achieve by that? And another unfortunate thing is that government know these people. The security agencies know these people. They know where they stay, and yet they turn, they turn deaf ears to some of these things. And that is why you see some of these people, they have this energy, this morale to go anywhere and do whatever they want. Now, I would have thought that any government that is reasonable, I'm talking of state government now, especially in the states where, this killing is prevalent, it should actually be one of their core plans. That what they tend to achieve because some of these guys, for me, I see them that they are not normal. It should be one of the responsibility of government or achievement of government to actually look for a way to reorientate these people. That killing is not the way to go. Why must you just enter a place and start killing? For crying out loud, these are human beings like you. It's not fair. It's not.
These guys are not thinking in that line anymore. I mean, they've left the rational thinking that you have now.
Yes, reason being that they've been condoned over the years. The people that should tell them what you are doing is wrong are not telling them. And do you know some people think killing is normal? Okay, I remember when I was in school long time ago, a young man was just initiated into court. He came to me. He said, "Bros, please, I want to ask you a question." I said, "Okay, go ahead." He said, "Is it wrong to kill?" I said, "Okay." All of a sudden, I just knew that this is a big issue for me. I told him, "Sit down." Thank God, God just gave me wisdom. I asked him, "Now, do you have ambition in life?" He said, "Yes." "What do you want to become?" He started telling me some things that he wants to become in the future. I said, "Okay, now, if you are killed now, do you think your spirit will rest?" He said, "No, God forbid." I said, "You see? So if you know that if you are killed, your parents will be happy and your ambition would have been cut short, why do you think that killing another person is the best thing?" You know, that young man went back and renounced his cultism. Right. Though he went through a lot, but he was able to withstand it. So my point is, you should be able to reason, think, and say, what do I gain by killing people? And the government should be able to do something about it. Not just sit as, because that is one of the core responsibility of government is to secure the lives of citizens. You should be able to ensure that nobody is killed.
Thank you. We got your thoughts there. I'm going to just move on along now to introduce my third guest, Akwative Andy, who is a social reformer, author, and thinker. Great to have you here in the studio with us.
Great to be here, Annie. Good morning.
So you've got anything to say with this spiked killings that we have again all over the news? Like I said earlier, it seemed as if there was some lull just before the presidential elections, and then here we are back in the neck of things again.
And so the Constitution says the primary purpose of government shall be, excuse me, the welfare and the security of the people. So if anybody was coming into government, the first charge for that individual would be to secure the people and to provide some, if you may, provide them with welfare. But we have seen government after government failing in this regard. Recently, I had a debate that was moderated by Mr. Ima, wherein we had said that Nigeria was a failed state. And my opponent said, no, it was not a failed state because we still had constitution and we still had a few other things. I left there even much more depressed that Nigerians do not understand what measure they were supposed to live by, that lawyers, doctors, engineers do not understand that the marking scheme to measure the progress of any government had been established by the Constitution, security and welfare. Every other thing is rather what can be termed highfalutin. What is more annoying for me, Annie, is that I watch television, international television, and I hear that, gunmen attack a church in Germany and they were brought down, or they turned the gun against themselves and killed themselves. Gunmen attack a school in America, they turned the gun against themselves, or in 24 hours they were caught. Gunmen attack in Denmark, gunmen attack in Norway, gunmen. But once I was young, now I'm a lot older, every gunman, gunman, gunwoman or gunwomen that attacked, we have not found them. And I take you back history a bit. Bola Ige was a man who came and said, I will fix power in a couple of months. Don't worry. Government of National Unity, they have brought me in. And he got there. Gunmen killed him. The police came and said, we are not going to leave any stone unturned. All the stones in the country will make sure that they are turned. As I speak to you, they are still turning the stones. The wife, a judge, they went into the wife's house, bedroom, killed the wife. We are not going to leave any stone unturned. They are still turning the stone. Annie, you are aware in your constituency, Delegiwa, inside his house, sitting room, very long ago, they brought bomb for him, killed him, gunmen.
They brought bomb for
him.
Hold this bomb, we're coming.
We are not going to leave any stone and any plank unturned. They are still unturning it. What is annoying for me, Annie, is why is it that the Nigerian state and citizens have refused to hold leadership responsible for what they should hold them responsible for? Annie, if as you are working here, you were told that if you did X, Y, Z, you were going to, the primary purpose of your employer would be to pay you salary, Annie, and you worked the first month and you did not receive salary, you worked the second month, you did not receive salary, will you continue to work? And I'm wondering right now how gunmen are killing people in Zamfara, gunmen are killing people in Benue, gunmen killing people in Enugu, gunmen killing people everywhere in Nigeria, and Nigerians are still organizing champagne parties. Nigerians are still having naming ceremonies. Nigerians are still in celebratory mood. We are not saying, excuse me, leadership. The primary purpose of government is this: that you have killed this today, we shut down the country. The country is shut down.
There's no need for us to continue governance now. Why we continue like this? We shut down this country. You are either going to do like they do in civilized community. I can just imagine that gunmen will kill in school, and 1 month the American security systems have not found out those gunmen. I can imagine what will happen in America.
At least a link towards them.
I'm telling you. Or in Germany, or in any of the, I can imagine what will happen. And it therefore calls to question. And I have put that on the pedestal in this station to say, is there something critically wrong with a black man? Why do we allow ourselves to be beaten to the wall, and we drill a hole in the wall in a manner of speaking and go further into the wall? They pursue us into that hole that we have drilled. We drill a tunnel inside that hole and we go further into it. We are expecting to see light at the end of the tunnel. How do you see light at the end of the tunnel? It's a quantity that we must interrogate. It must be out of your deliberate, intentional efforts to ensure that you get to the end of the tunnel and you drill a hole that is sufficient enough to bring light into the tunnel. Light will not just come now. You get to the tunnel, it's barricaded, it's closed on both sides. The point I'm making is I'm tired. I'm tired. Like my pastor will say sometimes when he want to preach, he'll say, I'm sick and tired of this generation. I'm tired of the peoples of Nigeria. How that we permit that every day, every now and again, even though the scorecard with which we should measure the people is for security and welfare, every now and again, they are depriving us of welfare. They are depriving us of security. And Annie, people will be protesting in Lagos to say, we delivered the Ikorodu. You said you are going to give us money, and you have not given us money. They are protesting. They are not looking at this government now. Beyond this money they are giving us, what they said they are going to do, should we be attacked by gunmen now? Do they have capacity? Are they thinking? Do they have the capacity with which to be able to unravel the gunmen? These gunmen, are they ghosts? I therefore want to submit, Annie, that until the black man begin to introspect, begin to think properly like humans would, we are continuously going to have these kinds of scenarios that at the end of the day will achieve nothing on. Bola Ige, Delegiwa, and the rest of them, they are still turning the stones and turning the planks.
I can't remember who I was listening to, and the person was talking about security, and yeah, I mean, it's in line with some of the things that Akpativi and Andy just spoke about here. When I think the person was making a reference to outside the country, that you could feel the security. You might not see the army officials or the police officers, but you could feel that you're secured. Because it's not that nobody can walk up to you and kill you. They will. They most likely could do that. But that the law will eventually catch up with that person. So that's the sense of security you feel. Yes, because you know that people know that they can't get away with anything they do. So there's a most likelihood they wouldn't want to do it. Because no matter how far they run, eventually they'll get caught up with and have to deal with the consequences of what they did. So that's it. But you could come to a country where the streets are lined up with police officers, and every 10 kilometers you go, there's a kilometer, there's a checkpoint, and yet you will feel this level of insecurity there. Because
and that was what made me come late.
Well, who held you?
The police people on the street blocking whatever I do not know what they're blocking, creating.
Rumokoro area.
As they were coming this road on Choba towards the side, blocking for what I do not understand. You just flag you down and tell you come down, bring your particulars, particulars what?
No.
The other day I came here and I talked about the one in Choba. Do you know 2 days afterwards, we did not see them. Because I speak to you again when I'm coming back from University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital in the evening sometimes. I see them there again.
Yeah, there.
Even after having spoken about it here, to say that their bosses will see them collecting is toll gate that they are mounting there.
All over.
It's toll gate.
Go to
the same Choba you talked about. Just before the police station, that there is a turn. There's a U-turn that they've permanently barricaded.
Yes. So that when you are coming from that side, you have to go down like you are going to the supermarket. You not turn from there. So you are
like you're going to Bayelsa.
Yes, they cause a serious traffic there, Annie. from evening time.
Myself, why have you barricaded that place? Explain why that place is barricaded.
They did that when there was this. They said they were attacking police
but it's
stations.
long over, right?
You know, that was when they blocked it.
Is it not long over?
And they are just doing it to extract money.
That's the point. You can't have these people, and then there's a deep lack of security within the system. That's not security.
And the nation is
people will come into a community and then massacre 19 people
and get away from the community. And get away. Everything is normal. The people who they have killed their loved ones will go and start bothering about how to bury them, and they throw them into mourning and all that. The nation is continual as if nothing happened. Annie, do you know what? If you killed 19 chicken, 19. If you slaughter them, you feel it. I'm telling you. 19. If you kill 19 chicken,
why will I feel it?
You feel it, Annie.
Like when I'm chewing the meat.
Annie, you will so feel it. If you see 19 chicken,
the feeling is it in the chewing of the meat?
The blood. Yes, Annie. I went to Akwa Ibom State. My friend said to me, my friends, I'm not kidding you, Annie.
Yeah, I might be tired.
My friend, no, you will feel it. My friend said to me that I wanted to take me somewhere to go and eat 404.
Cleaning the chicken and all
I didn't understand what he was talking about. We got there and we sat and they brought we saw dogs. Before I could say Jack Robinson, the man had pinned one of them down, carried club, hit the head, threw it in.
No, please don't tell us the gruesome way. It's okay.
Sleep for days. Dog. One was what I saw. I said, how do people sit here? They see this kind of thing and they still are able to eat this dog meat. What is wrong with this set of people? Now, if you killed 19 chicken, go to Mukuru Market where they kill those chickens. Anytime I go to buy there, I just drop it and I say I'm concerned. People say, why are you dropping it? They will steal your the liver. I say, let them steal. Because when you sit there, you watch them kill this chicken and throw them inside that hot water. But, you will not be the same again. Of course, that is the difference. The difference is that you are cutting in medicine to save life. You are not killing. It's not euthanasia. No. You are saving life. Every time you are driving your needle or you are driving your knife into a patient, it is for the purpose of restoring life and not taking life. Every time. That's the difference between medicine and those who are killing.
I think I'll kill 19 chickens and I'll be fine.
You will not be fine.
I think I'll give you 10 goats.
You will still not be fine. 19.
The only problem I have is when should I fry, should I roast? That's
leave that one. You've defeated us.
It's a very worrisome situation.
All right, well, crisis looms in APC as calls for national chairman's resignation heightened. This story is in the Vanguard newspaper. Strong indications have emerged that ahead of the zoning of offices of presiding officers for the National Assembly, crisis looms in the ruling party. The All Progressives Congress APC has calls for the immediate resignation from office by the national chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu Haitin. A group under the aegis of a civil society organization of Conference of Nigerian Civil Rights Activists has asked the national chairman of APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, to, as a matter of urgency, obey the calls for his resignation in the interest of equity, fairness and justice, just as it said that his resignation will assuage the feelings of Nigerians. The group in a statement signed on Sunday in Abuja by its convener, Pastor Ifeanyi Odili, the secretary engineer, Shina Akadiri, said that Adamu's exit as APC national chairman will ensure power balancing in the incoming Bola Tinubu's All Progressive government, Congress-led government. According to the rights activists, Adamu's resignation will also be a great opportunity for the All Progressive Congress to assuage the feelings of Christians towards the same faith arrangement of the party in the recently concluded presidential election. CNCRA's call is coming ahead of Monday's meeting of senators-elect and members of the House of Representatives-elect with the National Working Committee NWC of the APC at the Banquet Hall, Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, at 2 p.m. to brainstorm on which zone gets the President of the Senate, the Speaker, House of Representatives, the Deputy President of the Senate and Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, and the 8 principal positions in both the upper and lower chambers. The group has, however, hailed the National Vice Chairman, Northwest of the APC, Salio Mohammed Lukman, on his call for power balancing in incoming APC-led government and his call for the resignation of the party's national chairman. It sounds a little bit similar to some of the things the Integrity Group were fighting for. Said we need some balance, and I think in the case of the APC, it's even worse off, saying that they have got both the president and the VP, incoming president and incoming vice president, both as Muslims, that they would need maybe the APC to balance that by having someone who is Christian be the national chairman. What difference will it make anyways now?
You see, Annie, I want to start with this question. What is wrong with Nigerian politicians that so long as you become a chairman of a political party, you will be maybe sitting and then you will always be fired. Around you will just be bullets, everything. Resign, because they are looking for him to resign. Mohammed, I think that's his name, this APC. Is it Mohammed or whatever? Abdullahi, good. They are looking for him to resign. Perhaps others, once they get the honey is so sweet that the chairman always are the crossfire. But the truth is that, Annie, whoever remember the balancing of power wants to do that their party. Good. But the problem is it going to happen now? What will it... I don't understand, because for me, it's medicine after death. I told people that this Muslim ticket, let them forget it. Because eventually, in this country, I know, right from time, if Muslim ticket is what they want, they will emerge. Where are they? They've emerged. Because every other effort, let's see how it will take us. But I'm saying that if it is best that instead of your cow to run away completely, at least chop off the tail.
I hold on to the tail.
Yes, and say, okay, I had this cow some time ago. Look at the relic. Now, if they know that, well, Tinubu has in fact achieved his own, we've been with massive opposition and all that, has achieved his Muslim, and then this other person is Muslim, this other person is... It is good that it has at least a little balancing. If APC will listen, fine for it. If it doesn't, fine for it. What is my own?
All right. Mario, your thoughts there. Let me get to Obitima.
I don't know what they mean by balancing. In the first, balancing national chairman or the district.
Who might...
A president-elect.
Well, incoming president who is Muslim. Well, why wouldn't we have a Christian who leads the party? Because it's the party also that is in power, remember?
That Tinubu, did he recognize the importance of Christians before now? That is the question we should be asking. Okay. Despite the outcry in the first instance, I may not want to work with him. You know, Tinubu is so crafty that he must achieve that, because the tenure of Abdullahi following the party constitution may run into the next 4 years if he becomes president at last.
If he's actually sworn in as president.
If he's actually sworn in, may run into this thing, and that will be an issue to him. So he want to do everything now to destabilize the party, so that the pressure will come for Adamu to leave the scene. It's not that they are using Christians as a well, if not for the fact that I'm in the studio, if I'm in the house of God, I know what I would have said.
All right, then.
They should not begin to. They should leave Christians alone in APC.
All right, we got your thoughts there. Thank you very much, Engineer here again.
I pray they don't listen to them, because for me, I see that somebody is trying to. He's trying to be greedy, trying to use Christians' name to get what he wants. They should leave Christians out of it. Christians don't want any position from APC. In fact, let all the Muslims occupy all positions there. Anybody want to get any position in APC should not bring Christian into it. Whatever position you get there, it's not because you are even Christians. So it's not because you are a Christian that you get any position in APC. That's my opinion. So they should not come and start telling us because we want a part to be balanced. Are they just saying it? Why are they just coming out to protest or whatever it is that they are doing? So as far as I'm concerned, APC is to your tent, Israel.
All right.
So let APC be on their own.
They should all stay in their tents.
Yes, let all the positions be taken by Muslim. It's nobody's business.
They should all stay in their tents. All right, we got your thoughts on that. Andy.
Yes, Annie, my father used to say to us growing up that as you grow up in life, you are going to face different battles. I'm not going to prevent you from going into them. You face battles with women, you face battles in the office, you face battles in life. But every battle you get into, let your strategy be about winning the war and winning the peace. Because if you won the war in the battle alone and you did not win the peace, you would not be said to have won. When Bola Tinubu was coming into this war, and he was coming with a Muslim ticket, he did not understand that if he won the war alone and did not win the peace, his government would not be appreciated by whole. See what has happened. A president-elect was declared. My opinion, though, the whole nation was thrown into mourning. My opinion. And if you drill it down to ask people, why is it that we are all not celebrating? At least in Buhari's term, we saw people trekking from Kaduna to Bayelsa. We saw people who were jogging from Sokoto to Benue. People were riding bikes and they were excited because they thought,
there's no money. I hope you know that the nation itself is going through its own issues now. There's no money to do all of that.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree. But compared to what we had then, we would have seen some celebration. Right?
Yeah,
here and there in Lagos.
Celebration might not be as vibrant because you need cash for some of these celebrations.
No, you just transfer now. They are still going to clubs now, Annie. People are still going to clubs. People are still celebrating.
There are people going to clubs. Are they the ones that used to trek? Those ones that you saw trek.
No, the point is, so if my candidate won, Annie, my candidate will win River State. My candidate will win River State 18th of this. That's you. My candidate will win. When my candidate, your candidate that right now said is the only thing they are chasing.
At this point, I will ask both of you to pay.
So where I'm going to Annie is this. You will see that we will celebrate. I have posted on my wall. There will be stash banga soup everywhere. People will come and eat. Even though there's no money, you will see that we will celebrate. Right. Now, if you are going into a battle and you did not know that you needed a strategy to win the war and win the peace, then I'm sure that you are not smart. Annie, see what has happened in this country. Have you forgotten that Bola Tinubu didn't even like Abdullahi in the first instance? And that's Oshomole was his candidate. Because of what he had calculated. He wanted an Adams Oshomole to help him become. Did you see the uphill task? Abdullah himself had already gone to anoint the Senate president now. They didn't want him. He was fighting to that. So forget all these things that they are telling us that they want to balance. It's not it's selfish interests. It's about them. They're not balancing anything for any. Don't balance for me now. I'm a Christian. I'm saying, please, APC, don't balance for me. Keep your position. Don't balance for me. I'm not interested. And that is if he becomes the president. I said on this station that Bola Tinubu cannot be the president of this country. We are waiting until he's sworn in.
Yes. You wait for the courts to do that.
I'm with you, but
you are not, as long as you're
forget your side. Forget that your side. Forget that your side. Don't be forget that your side. Forget that your side. Don't be there's no way yours is going to come to pass. It's not possible.
Both of you are not the judges in the courts.
Yes.
We'll wait till what the judges say concerning the matter.
Concerning the celebration of it.
Yes.
If you watch what happened in Edo State day before yesterday, you will know that if the right person had
without money, the hand is talking about. There's no available. You would have seen it on the street now.
Celebrating.
We'll bring the celebration to this station, and the celebration will be brought here.
I don't know about that. I know that people don't have money yet, so the celebrations might be low key. But then let's move on. We have those. So this one story here is calls for national. Okay, that's the one we just went to. Crisis looms in APC as calls for national chairman's resignation heightened. And then we'll also take this story here. Game changer, how Beavers turned heavyweights to paperweights. That's in the Punch newspaper. The introduction of the bimodal voters accreditation system machines into Nigeria's electoral process has, to a large extent, reduced rigging and produced results, which shocked legacy parties. When the idea of introducing the bimodal voters accreditation system into the electoral process was first mooted by the national chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, it created a wave of mixed feelings among the people. The Beavers machine is a device for the accreditation of voters through biometric capture, uploading of polling results and other functions. A larger percentage of Nigerians didn't know what to make of it. Many pondered hard on what difference it would bring to the country's long history of election irregularities such as rigging, ballot box snatching, thuggery, shooting, intimidation of voters, vote buying, violence, and collusion with ad hoc electoral agents and security operatives, among others. The argument may be seen as valid if the number of casualties who were victims of bloodletting, thuggery, and post-election violence is anything to go by. But Yakubu stuck to his gun, insisting on doing the needful. For a first-time visitor coming into contact with him, the INEC chair caught the image of an umpire who is determined to do better than his predecessor, Professor Tahiru Jega. Professor Mohammed Kuna, a special advisor to INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, in recent interview said the biometric technology was designed to verify permanent voter cards and enable human recognition through a biometric verification machine using both fingerprint and facial recognition of voters. According to him, the device can also capture images of the polling unit result sheets and upload the image on the sheets to INEC's election results viewing platform, IREV. Beavers plays an important role in verifying the genuineness of voters' cards and authenticating voters during their accreditation. He said the design of the electronic device made it impossible for anyone to tamper with results uploaded to IREV Beavers. With the nature of Beavers, the uploaded polling unit's results cannot be manipulated. The machine was not designed to edit the photographic results uploaded and sent to the INEC results viewing portal, and once sent, cannot be recalled. Also, former Akwa Ibom State Resident Electoral Commissioner of the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, Mike Igini, stated that Beavers had returned power to the people because the device would make rigging near impossible for politicians. When Yakubu insisted on Beavers, it didn't take long for Nigerians to get a clear picture of the difference Beavers can make in a major poll following the loss of the incumbent governor of Osun, Adeboye Oyetola, at the July 16 governorship election in the state. In a dramatic fashion, an election petition tribunal, that's for Oyo State now, in the state nullified the election that produced the dancing senator as governor 6 months later. A report said evidence from the Beavers showed alleged overvoting in favor of Adeleke. It was a defining moment for the ruling APC, and there were cries of foul play from the opposition and critics of the technological device. This was followed by threats and calls for Beavers to be abandoned ahead of 2023 elections. A determined Yakubu emphasized publicly that the system of using the Beavers for the conduct of elections has come to stay, and there was no going back. His position was re-echoed by INEC's National Commissioner for Information, Festus Okoye, who described the device as a game changer in the country's electoral process. Okoye also opined that there will be surprises at the 2023 polls. Indeed, he was right in his permutation, following major upsets and earthquakes that rocked the presidential and National Assembly polls on February 25th. Perhaps the biggest shock can be said to be the loss in Lagos, reputed to be the stronghold of a kingmaker, a political godfather, and APC presidential poster boy, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to the dark horse of the election, Peter Obi. The former Lagos governor, however, triumphed in Agege, Apapa, Badagry, Epe, Ibejuleki, Ifako, Ijaye, Ikorodu, Lagos Island, Lagos Mainland, and Surulere. Similarly, the national chairman of the ruling APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, was overrun and lost his senatorial zone to the Social Democratic Party's candidate, Ahmed Wadada. Wadada scored 96,488 votes to defeat the APC candidate, Ahmed Tukur, and emerged the winner of Nasarawa South Senatorial District. In the same vein, at least 7 outgoing governors failed in their attempts to cross over to Nigeria's Senate after 2 terms tenures of 8 years each. A prominent member of the 5 aggrieved governors of the PDP, otherwise known as the G5 governors, Samuel Otom, lost his bid to clinch Benue Northwest Senatorial District at the National Assembly. He lost his AP to his APC counterpart in the district, Titus Zam. A third member of the G5, Governor Beazu, equally lost. With the loss of 3 high-ranking members of the Integrity Group, political pundits have predicted that the chances of Governor Seyi Makinde, the 4th member of the G5, is hanging on a thread as the Oyo governorship pool beckons. On the flip side, the doors of the Senate were also shut against 2 APC governors, Simon Lalong of Plateau and his comrade in Cross River, Governor Ben Ayade. Lalong's loss came to APC supporters as a shock, As the Director General of Tinubu Shettima's Presidential Campaign Council, many have predicted that he will enjoy the privilege of being in the ruling party. A member of the PDP, Senator Philip Aduda, who is popularly called Abuja Landlord, was roundly beaten in his fourth attempt to return to the National Assembly. Aduda, who has a larger-than-life posture, similar to that of a governor in the FCT, was disgraced by a female candidate of the Labour Party, Ireti Kingibe. The irony of the humiliation was his loss to a non-indigene of Abuja. Although it is an undeniable fact that a certain presidential candidate has developed an enviable record of scoring millions of votes in his geopolitical zone, the Beavers has presented us with the truth and a new reality of our elections. Prior to the 2023 presidential and national elections, the normal permutations will have been a case of Obi, Tinubu, Kwankwaso, and Atiku sharing the ballots of 84 million registered voters announced ab initio by INEC, and Nigerians will begin to anticipate who would get the larger shares, including some 11th-hour non-existent votes to decide the winner. I remember that some of the permutations we had when we were waiting for results to come in was, what we're going to get from Kano, what's coming in from Katsina. Why are these people quiet? They're coming in with what will shock everybody. And indeed, we were shocked, but not the way we thought we were going to be shocked.
But not in the way we had it in mind.
So when we do return, I want to look at, indeed, is the Beavers a game changer? We'll return after the news, which comes up right about now.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Every day, every hour. When the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdul Salam. The Independent National Electoral Commission has justified the transfer of its director in charge of information, communication and technology, Chidi Nwafo, who was transferred a few months before the 2023 general elections. Following the failure of INEC to upload results of the February 25th presidential election from the polling units to its portal, there have been speculations that the commission missed the expertise of Nwafo. However, INEC National Commissioner Festus Okoye insisted that the commission is built in a way that no department is wrapped around an individual. Okoye attributed INEC's inability to transmit polling unit results directly to its portal in real time as promised before the elections due to technical glitches, which he said have been rectified ahead of the March 18 governorship and state assembly elections. Amid the lingering scarcity of new Naira notes, the Ira Consultative Forum has criticized President Muhammadu Buhari for disobeying the Supreme Court judgment on recirculation of the old Naira notes till December 31st, 2023. The Northern Social Political Group described the president's action as a damage to his credentials as a Democrat and a stickler for the rule of law. In a statement issued by its Secretary General Murtala Aliu, the ACF lamented that the Naira redesign policy has led to runaway inflation in food and other commodities. The ACF also warned that the crisis has the possibility to morph into a serious social disorder, leading to the possible breakdown of law and order in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Xi Jinping on his re-election for a third term of 5 years as president and chairman of the Central Military Commission of the People's Republic of China. In a statement by his spokesperson, Femi Adesina, President Buhari believed that under the leadership of President Xi, relations between China and Nigeria, which dates back to 1971, when both countries formally established diplomatic ties, have expanded rapidly on bilateral trade and strategic cooperation. Adesina said the president hoped that the future outlook of this strategic partnership with China will continue to blossom in the areas of military, trade, finance, oil and gas, among others. And now to the foreign scene. North Korea has fired 2 strategic cruise missiles from a submarine in a show of force just hours before the United States and South Korea began their largest joint military exercises in 5 years. The tests followed days after leader Kim Jong-un oversaw a series of weapons launches and ordered his soldiers to intensify efforts to repel its rivals' frantic war preparation moves. Reports of the missile launches showed Pyongyang's resolve to respond with overwhelming powerful forces to so-called military maneuvers by the U.S. imperialists and the U.S. and the South Korean puppet forces. The latest exercises include a computer simulation called Freedom Shield 23 in several several combined field training exercises, collectively known as Warrior Shield FTX. According to South Korean and U.S. Armed Forces, the drills are scheduled to continue for at least 10 days and will focus on the changing security environment amid North Korea's increasing nuclear threats. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Ensure you take advantage of the coming election to elect leaders of your choice. To have a great morning, I'm Annie Abdul Salam.
Has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
All right, wonderful people of Port Harcourt, how are you doing this wonderful, blessed day? Welcome to Agric Med Easy, sponsored by Benzo Farms and Agro Allied Company Limited. And today, just like every other day, but in a little way special, we'll be discussing about this feed, Benzo Ultimate Feed. And even the organic ones. We encourage people today, poultry farmers, to invest, or probably, invest in Benzo Ultimate Feed. Use it for your birds, and then look out for the surprising effects you usually have on birds. The reason why you should change that particular feed you are using today and try Benzo Ultimate Feed. The reason why you should contact us for your day-old chicks. All right, people, without much ado, let's welcome the CEO of Benzo Farms, Reverend Dr. Ebenezer David Onochie, to the program. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Right, today you help us so much in telling us the prices of Benzo Ultimate Feed. Why is this feed unique, and why must every poultry farmer have it in their poultry home? So first of all, tell us more about Benzo Ultimate Feed, and then the price tag on everyone, ready from starter, finisher, and of course the grower.
Thank you so much, because I believe that knowledge is power. A lot of people who have ventured into poultry business till today are still struggling. Why are they struggling? Because something they don't know is bigger than them. Now, concerning the Benzo Ultimate Feed, we are in partnership with Netherlands company. Netherlands has been in agriculture. They have been the agricultural hub of Europe. And because a lot of Israeli people based in Netherlands, and they were able to develop that land and make it a center for agriculture. And because of that relationship we have with them, we get a formula to produce this wonderful feed in order to help your birds very stable and have a unique growth that will give you return on your money. Starting from what we call Galdus. Galdus is a feed made in Holland. It's a foreign feed. That foreign feed is the number one unique feed you need to introduce to your birds. From day one. They eat it from day 1 to 7 days. The price of that feed is 26,000 naira per one. Somebody will shout, wow, very expensive. Yes, very expensive, but very magical. The end result is unimaginable. One bag of feed is for 200 birds. When you divide 26,000 by 200 birds that will eat it, because one bag of 25 kg is enough for 200 birds. If you divide it, it gives you 130 naira. What it means, when you buy your day-old chicks, give them a gift of 130 naira per one. Yes, 130 naira gift that will sustain them for 1 week. Do you know what you achieve? Number one, uniform growth. Number two, you will kill an uneven growth. That infection and virus that comes from egg to attack your birds from not developing fast. The feed is like a medicine. It will kill it under 1 week. Then you will give the birds a strong resistance to sickness, attack, and viruses, thereby reducing your mortality. And too many benefits like that. If you see the growth of the birds that eat this feed for 1 week, it is very, very surprising. Then after eating that Galdus feed for 1 week, you now move to what we call Benzo Organic Starter. It will eat from 7 days to 17 days. You only eat it for 10 days. That one is sold 9,600 naira. Benzo Organic Starter. Then after that, you move to Benzo Organic Super Starter. That one 9,600, but from 17 to 37 days. At this point, you can imagine the height of your birds. 37 days is just 5 weeks and 2 days. But the growth will surprise you. From there, they will move to finisher. From 37 days to 42 days, some move it to up to 49 days, which is 7 weeks. At 7 weeks, the weight is superb. At 6 weeks, you will be selling at 3 to 4 kg at 6 weeks. At this point, your base may be between 2,900 to 3,000, depend on your day-old cost. And thereby, you can easily sell at 3,800, 4,000, 3,700, 4,000 for those who are selling commercial price. And thereby targeting 700, 800, even if it's 500 naira per one. If you have up to 500 beds, do you know you just make 250,000? Every 6 weeks, you summarize the cycle and start all over again. And we can help you with a marketing contact. Hear me and hear me very well. If you are interested to make it big in poultry business, join us in our cooperative and be well informed on a better way to progress with support from us in order to achieve your desire in starting poultry business.
Wow, this is well said. Very, very articulated, I must say. And if I understand correctly what he said about that Gauda's feed, it means that aside from being a perfect feed, it is also medicinal. So when you feed your day-old chicks from day 1 to 7 days with that Gauda's, it means that if there is any incurred illness that the birds came with, through birth, the feed can actually help to eradicate it. So it goes with the saying that says your food should be your drugs, while your drugs should be your food. So thank you, Benzo Farms, for this explained facts about Gauda's and products of Benzo Farms. I understand that Benzo Farms also deals on cash cropping. They sell crops, cash crops, and other crops that we can plant in our farms. And I'm curious to know, how are they prepared this rainy season of this particular year to supply the masses with the cash crops? Are they ready for this? And how prepared are they?
Thank you so much. This is a wonderful thing and wonderful season nature have blessed us with. And I want to tell you, you just key into the season. This is the season of famine. I want to tell you the quickest way to make money now is in corn, maize farming. If you can have a plot of land, I want to tell you, I will teach you how to plant minimum of 3,000 seeds in that farm. Give you herbicides and other chemical to use that will be void of weeds and make the corn to grow very well. I want to assure you, with the price of corn this year, they will sell 100 naira. And when you have up to 3,000 in a plot, you have just made 300,000 in a shortest time of 90 days, which is 3 months. You summarize what you start to finish, because the corn will be ready in 62 days. But all you will do to summarize and finish the sale is in 90 days. You have your cash out of 300,000. What if you have up to 5 plots of land? What if you have access to 10 plots of land? I want to tell you, get yourself involved. If you have a land somewhere that is lying, if you can be able to handle the fencing or whatever security there, I want to assure you this is time for big money. Yes, I will give you a sweet corn. It's called FC 510 and Oba Super 2. We have Oba Super 2 and FC 510. These are foreign products based in Nigeria through Sitco company. This sweet corn has a fast growth and the crops can be 2 depends on your application. With this, I tell you, it is a success because you are going to have a good training. Training number 1, we are going to give you what we call liquid organic fertilizer. When you buy the corn from us, we give you a liquid organic fertilizer you can dip the corn into in 2 to 3 hours. After 3 hours, you start planting them. The corn is germinating with resistance to disease. It will germinate and give you up to 2 cups and minimum of 1, maximum of 2 or 3 because of the foundation you give to the corn. I want to tell you, by tomorrow, I am having a special seminar. You can come to our office and pick this corn, pick the liquid fertilizer, then pick the formula on which to apply some of the herbicides and insecticides that can help reduce all the armyworm or attack the corn we have. And I will tell you, after all this little thing, in 90 days, you will be surprised how money will exchange hands in your farm.
Wow, I guess that will be the expression of my fellow farmers. You'll be surprised how money will exchange hands in your farm. So why not contact us today? Benza Farms and Agro Allied Company Limited. Let us, partner with us. Let's do this business, this farming business together this season, and let's see what goes out of it. Also, so what number do you think people should call for more information concerning this farming season and then Benza Ultimate Feed?
If you want to get this corn, the liquid fertilizer that can boom it, not just ordinary fertilizer, but this one is a powerful way to the liquid fertilizer, the herbicides and insecticides, the booking of the field, all these things we have talked about. The number to call is 070-45-000-123. 070-45-000-123. 123. I'm also coming with cucumber, watermelon, melon, and everything you could ever think of. Somebody might be asking, where is our office? Our office is located at East West Road, after Rumokoro Bori campsite, opposite Accord Party Secretariat. Yes, immediately Chisco Park at Rumokoro East West Road. If you are coming from Rumokoro Bridge, roundabout, going towards the Rios, you will meet Accord Party after Chisco Park, opposite that Accord Party. If you are coming from Rios, going towards Rumokoro, immediately you pass First Bank, you will meet the Accord Party. Opposite the Accord Party is our office. For those of you who are so interested in making money in agriculture, I'm going to give you free training tomorrow, how you can go about and start your farming business.
Within 3 months, you will cash out and you will say, Benza Farms, thank you very much. All right, sir, because of time, let us know if we can dabble in the investment platforms available in Benza Farms. Quickly, you have to tell us about it before time runs out.
Thank you so much. Presently, we are building what we call a modern poultry farm estate in Liver State here. And I want to assure you that with that modern design, because our intention is that we are opening it by next month, and the way the structures and things are going there, a lot of people who wish to be a poultry farmer but they don't know how to manage it or who to manage it for them are buying a land there, having their structures there, because our team of veterinary doctors are there, the animal scientists are there, they are living there, going to stay there, stationed there to take care of your birds. We'll provide the workers and the manpower to you while you have the land and the building. And at the end, you will be surprised how money will be coming to your hands through the dropping of the eggs. How is it possible? Somebody might ask me, what is the price? The total price of the plot of land there with the building and the 1,000 chicken at point of lay is 6,670,000. That is the total package. And the moment you pay this money, 1,000 laying birds will be stationed in your own farm with 2 poultry attendants, the veterinary doctor and the supervisor that will be taking care. It is a farm estate. We are doing a corabo. That is, many people have their own building under one gate, under one environment, in order to supervise it and make sure that somebody benefits from poultry business. Do you know that the estimation is that 1,000 chicken will be laying 30 crates of eggs maximum, and that 30 crates of eggs, if you sell at 2,100 per crate at wholesale price, you are hitting about 63,000, and it will only eat 5 bags of feed at 40,000 naira a day. So when your chicken eat feed of 40,000, it will lay egg of 63,000. Thereby, on daily basis, you are making 23,000. Count it for 10 days, 230,000. Count it for 20 days, 460,000. In a month, you are targeting 600 and something thousand because of the kind of falling drugs, expertise, attendants, the way we are managing the farm. Listen to me. Business have gone beyond let me be trying. Expertise are coming. It is going to be you invest your money. Somebody is working for you, making money for you, and it is a win-win thing. He is making money from you. You are making money for yourself. If you are interested to own a building at that farm estate, call my number 070 61 62 1964 070 61 62 1964. Or you are interested to come to this seminar I am holding tomorrow for better understanding of what we do and how you can partner with us, or even take a loan to assist your agricultural business. You can text yes to 070 61 62 1964. Text yes to 070 61 62 1964. We can do it together in agriculture.
Well said. We can do it together in agriculture. And with that, we are coming to the end of the program today. Make sure you are at the training center tomorrow. Till then, remain successful, remain happy, and be law-abiding. Bye for now.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Oh, I don't gawk yourself. Sell your vote, just sell your future, blood, sell your birthright. How much self? Divide them by 4 years. How much you not? No sell your vote, no matter the thing them they tell you.
Barack Obama once said, "There's no such thing as a vote that doesn't matter." As we approach the forthcoming elections, know this: the future of Nigeria is in the hands of the Nigerian voter. Vote wisely. My name is Victor Oriahi.
Hello, Nigerians. As you go out on election day, please take note. Whatever decision you make, you'll live with it for the next 4 years. My name is Chikeze Queen Chuma.
Elections come and go, but the impact of the choice you make in that few minutes stays for a long time. Do not sell your power to decide the government for the next 4 years, because no amount of money to sell your vote will last that long. Go out and vote. Hold on to your vote, but shun all forms of violence. My name is Reliable Reliance Udonyen.
Time, they say, heals everything, but this surely is dependent on the choices we make. As you prepare to vote the candidates of your choice, make sure you introduce no bias, as tribal, religious, and political sentiment should not be the yardstick to choose your leader. Vote for competence. Vote for accountability. My name is Ezine Oti.
Dear Nigerians, as we head to the polls to elect our leaders for the next 4 years, let's shun every form of electoral violence and malpractice. Speak through the ballots, not guns. My name is Eval Edu, head of sport Today 95.1 FM. Let's vote wisely. Let's vote our conscience.
FM, voice of the people.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
6 minutes it's gone past 10. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM. Lord have mercy. Let's move on now. Last conversation that we had to do with what I read, a game changer, how beavers turned heavyweights to paperweights. And this write-up by Adebayo Folorunso Francis for the Punch newspaper looks at the introduction of the bimodal voters accreditation system machines into Nigeria's electoral process and how it has, to a large extent, reduced rigging and produced results, which has shocked legacy parties. So, Emmanuel, do you think that the beavers
is
a game changer?
Yeah, I would say the answer is completely yes. Of course, from the word go, the introduction of beaver was in the bid to get a game changer. And of course, that's what it is. I have said that my problem with it is that it wasn't used the way it should be. It was not completely used. If not, in fact, all these things we are talking about, this person manipulated here, manipulated there, wouldn't have been there at all. But because I don't know, and that is why I always say, when you are doing with something with politicians, be very much careful with them. In fact, let them stay 1 million miles and then stay 1 million. I'm telling you, because, in my place they said, if you are eating with the devil, use a long spoon. I don't know what they mean, because that spoon, if he wants you to become short in your hand, you can make it. So, it's just best not to eat with him. Now, you see, the politicians, they don't have such powers to make the spoon short and all that. But I tell you, they'll use sweet word, they'll use their intelligence, bad aspect of it. Because if you also see robbers, intelligence, there are good ones and bad ones. Robbers will galvanize the bad side, the negative side of intelligence, but all forms intelligence. And they will come with strategies and rob you. Right in your home, where you maybe thought it was very impregnable. That's the same thing. Politicians, whether they manipulated it or not, that most of the beavers' machine went to sleep. That is why the game changing did not happen around the country. I tell you the truth. But as for being a game changer, and it was constructed to be a game changer for Nigerian election, and it truly proved that, because there are places that you see the results, you imagine what would have made it possible for that kind of result to come out from that place. And that includes even this River State we are. But the game changing, as is wont on Nigerians, did not completely become game changing. But if you ask me like you did, I will tell you it's a game changer.
All right. Dr. Obitima.
Well, I think I will make my analysis based on interactions we had with INEC concerning the beavers and whatever before the election. I was among the team that engaged INEC in the office in Port Harcourt here in an interface meeting. Despite all that we were hearing from Festus Okoye and the assurances of INEC chairman and all the analysis that Mike Ngini was also making on the various platforms that really raised that confidence in Nigerians that this time, those that were not interested, that were aloof in terms of our elections in this country came up. We went to INEC will raise questions in Port Harcourt here. In fact, they assured us, they told us that the beavers is configured in a way that it cannot move it from one particular unit to another place. And there is a tracker, that if it is moved from unit 11 to unit 12, they will know. And that it will also not function. So these assurances made people to really relax, not knowing that there was a hidden agenda in that election. Despite the logistic problems that most places face in terms of early arrival of materials and the time elections were started, when it was time, people were enthusiastic, people came out. And that is why, honestly speaking, the number of people that came out and hearing the total number of people that voted in this election, very far short of the number of those who registered. I just wondered, one, did the beavers capture all the people that came out in most of the units? No, because they came late. Now, at the time of following the INEC, the 2022 electoral law and the guidelines of INEC on transmission of results, everything collapsed. Everything, just within that moment, everything was reversed to manual. It became a big issue. But also, thank God that people were able to get certain results by snapping and all those stuff. But INEC did not follow the guideline. So I cannot say that the beavers was a game changer. I don't agree with that writer. Was a game changer in the last election of 25th of February.
All right.
No, because the time that the beavers should transmit these results, they were not transmitted. So that made the result to be manipulated in so many places.
What are your thoughts on that? And let's
so
move
many
on
places.
to Engineer Hake. Were the beavers a game changer?
Yeah, for me, the beavers was not just a game changer. In fact, beavers for me is one of the best things that has happened to the electionary system of Nigeria. Now, what happened on the 25th was, for me, a sabotage, and politicians desperate politicians doing everything possible to ensure that things don't work the way they should work. Okay, now, it wasn't the beavers that failed on the 25th. It was a deliberate attempt to sabotage the beavers, not the beavers itself. Because the beavers I voted that day. It worked perfectly well. You discover that it was during when result was to be during the time of collation of results. The result has been announced and trying to now transmit the result. That's where problem comes in. And for me, it was not the fault of the beavers. I see it as deliberate. I see it that the IRF portal was intentionally shut down to allow politicians, that access to be able to actually manipulate the results. And you discover that the places where some persons were able to stand their ground and say, this result must be transmitted here. You see, in such places, things went well. That's why you discover that in some places you see somebody who's not even a politician, maybe just bought from under Labour Party, and they came out victorious. Why? Because nothing was tampered with. Actually, if I may digress a little, on that 25th, if you look at when people, all these talks started coming out, was when they discovered that everybody tends to vote for a particular party. And, the party on ground said, if we allow this, it means we'll go nowhere. And that's when you see them trying to do everything possible to make sure that they spoil things. And unfortunately, INEC, for me, because since INEC is the one that is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring credible election in Nigeria, for me, I would say that INEC intentionally sabotaged the beaver system. The beavers worked perfectly well. It captured people without stress. It was during the announcement of result that all these things started coming up, just to give a space to politicians to be able to manipulate. And I trust that if come on Saturday, if things are allowed to be, if people are allowed to vote without any issues, beavers will in fact we do miracle that will shock the whole nation. Of course, it will be used. Yes. It will be used if the IRF is not shut down. If the IRF is not shut down, if results are allowed to be transmitted directly from the polling unit, I tell you, surprises will spring up.
All right. So you're saying that even for the much that the beavers was used this election, it was a game changer.
Of course, it was.
Okay.
A big one.
We got your thoughts there. Let's move on to Akotive Andy.
And it is called bimodal voter accreditation system. Bimodal is more than one. Right. It's two. It means that the function is not just accreditation, even though the name is accreditation system. I want to first interrogate even what beavers represents and how it functioned the day we were to use it. What was the second silent function that machine was designed to perform? How much of that function was performed by that machine? If you were to score it, listening to me right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, on that silent function, bimodal, how much of it would you say we were able to achieve with it? Oh, in Enugu, oh, in this, people with Okada people, 1. In this, they won. But if you measured it countrywide, would you say that the beavers lived up to the name that it was given? If the purpose of a thing is not known, people say, right, that abuse is inevitable. Annie, there's a machine in medicine, there's an implement in medicine that is called the anastomosis machine. It's called the diameter or diatemy machine, rather, right? What you use that machine for, essentially, is for soft tissue surgeries to anastomose. If you have that machine in the theater, Annie, and you wanted to do soft tissue surgeries, and you were unable to use the machine to do it, would you say that the machine is the game changer in the theater? We have the anatomy machine in our hospital. So if you brought any kind of soft tissue surgery, we will do it so finely, and the theater field, you won't have too much blood. You will just see that. Meanwhile, the diatomy machine did not perform the function for which it was created. And the patient died on the couch for his soft tissue surgeries. Would you say that diatomy machine performed? So I'm saying, Nigerians, how much of a game-changing quantity was brought into this space by the beavers machine? What has it helped to do? Did it prevent the kind of rigging that we had been seeing before? Did it prevent it? They still rigged in the manner that was akin to what was before 1960. Wallahi talai, you need to see how they were adjusting, with. I had said in this station,
they did rig in that.
Let me explain, Annie.
Please.
Accountants don't like mutilations. They don't like it. If you ever give them anything mutilated, they'll throw it back at you and say, what is this? They smell fraud there.
Yes. Was it beaver that was mutilated?
No, I'm coming. Farabale, I'm coming. Beavers was introduced that it may perform certain functions and take away this nonsense that had been happening about mutilation and ballot box stuffing and everything. But today, Annie, this is where I'm going to. We saw all manners of mutilation that a person who has not even studied accountancy would see and would shudder. And guess what was even much more annoying?
INEC chairman accepted these mutilated figures and announced a winner. It did not endure any. Court now said, it is INEC that has the prerogative to determine whether they are going to transmit or what mode they are going to adopt, even though the court is aware that the machine is called Beavers and bimodal. They understand what is the silent second leg of the accreditation, which is transmission. The court understands. So the court then tells you that, you cannot win this case. Go home, because INEC will determine. INEC gave you Beavers. Court, you are seeing Beavers. INEC will and you want me and Jack Motive to sit down here and say that Beavers was a game changer? Mm-hmm. It was a negative game changer, if anything. And I had said, until we fix the structures, until we fix the real structures, the structural issues in this country, whether Beavers or Kindraso, yesterday, Annie, have you forgotten what they spent money on? And I said it here last time I was here. They spent money on card reader. What is that machine called? Spent billions. Today is Beavers, and we are calling it game changer. Tomorrow, it is going to be Annie modifying system or something, and that they are going to bring, and they want to spend 400 billion. The point is, as long as we have not fixed the basics, as long as we have not addressed the real issues, whether Beavers, whether accreditation, voters accreditation, whatever, it is never going to work. It was not a game changer for me. If anything, they took us back to pre-1960 with their rigging.
Okay.
Please,
if
I
may say something.
Yes.
I'll get to Emmanuel.
See, for me, Beavers wasn't the issue. The problem here are the politicians that wants to win by all means. You don't force yourself on the people. The Beavers, for me, was perfect. It was the people, because they were desperate, trying to now influence now he talked about mutilation.
Yeah.
The Beavers wasn't mutilated. It was the manual recording of result that was mutilated, and is that a result that is to be imputed into the Beavers? That's the only place where I feel that INEC should have done better. Trying to avoid an area where you have human intervention, maybe trying to somebody now trying to now impute results.
Okay.
That was where the rigging comes in. Not because Beavers didn't work well. Now, if you look at Etiosa local government, where Baki W lost, Baki W is a known name. But because Beavers was allowed there, a result was transmitted from the polling unit. People there ensured that was done, and that was why you see that this guy Baki W lost Etiosa local government. Even the guy that won there, even the guy that won there, it's not a popular, it's not a known name like that. You understand? So the problem for me, the problem is not the Beavers, it is the politicians that are so desperate to win election, even when they know that people don't like them, people don't want them, and they do everything possible to manipulate things. That the Beavers wasn't manipulated; it was the result. Now you discover that in those places where you were expecting high numbers. The question they ask the agents there is, okay, how many people does the Beavers accredited? The rigging was not. You see that they never rigged above the number of persons that were accredited. But before now, you discover that before this advent of Beavers, you see that at the time in 2011, I was a presiding officer. They take the remaining ballot papers and do thumbprinting. But now with Beavers, you can't do thumbprinting no matter you want to rig. Yeah. If you want to rig, the only way you can rig is you rig within the number of persons that the Beavers accredited. Yeah. So that is one lovely thing that the Beavers brought in. Yeah. Look at Kano. Before now, you'll be hearing 2.something million vote, but we got only how many? How many in Kano? Why? Because of the introduction of Beavers. So for me, Beavers wasn't the issue, but rather the politicians.
Emmanuel, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Annie, the Beavers is a game changer. Let us tell ourselves the truth. The employment of it, you cannot employ 3 things, for instance, and then make one effective, and you expect the result you should have got when 3 of them were highly effective. You can't. It is natural justice. If you employ 3, now make sure you fund the trade, and then make everything on that trade to be effective. Then if it works, you will see it at the peak. Now the beavers are not the issue, but humans. I always say it is the managers of this our country, Nigeria, that is making it in this way. Oftentimes they tell you, we the people, yes, when Emmanuel Ndukwe knows that if I tell this person, he will say, okay, you want to come and teach me my job, and then I turn around, he shoots me at the back of my head, I fall. And anybody that falls and is incidentally his corpse is carried and buried, he will not know what is happening again. Then Emmanuel Ndukwe says, no, I don't want to go yet. Let me go home and keep quiet and manage with all I'm getting. Yes, I have compromised, but I am now alive watching what is going on. The beavers, if they had allowed them, the politicians had allowed them, and when in this business, I look at even INEC officials as politicians, because they are working for them. They are working for them. How can I have asked the question, why is it that many of them like that went to sleep, the beavers? And after the election, you find out that they were healthy, very much awake. So I always say here, it is a hand that touched a pot. For a pot to fall and make a noise, that is the issue, and not the pot itself. The pot cannot fall by itself.
Right. Okay. So, just I'll get to you. He wanted to say something.
I am just wondering, right now, hearing my colleagues speak to these issues. You manufactured a thing for a purpose. It was unable to deliver, and you say it's the hand. And when I use cutlass to clear grass, it's different from when I use tractor. Regardless of the hand, the result that you get from using the cutlass and the tractor are always different. Regardless of the hand that is using it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just ask this here. Now, when you were using cutlass,
yes,
and when you were using your hands,
yes,
what's the difference?
My hands will do less than the cutlass.
Good. So that means there was an improvement.
Absolutely.
So to that situation, the cutlass was a game changer.
Absolutely.
The game changer.
So that's the point I'm making.
Now,
so when I now use tractor,
you're saying,
I got certain results from the cutlass.
Exactly. So what you're saying now here, if I'm going to use that analogy, that in spite of the involvement of the beavers, we have not improved on anything.
Oh, flesh and blood did not reveal this to you. We have not improved in the manner that is expected from these beavers. The use of this. So they say the beavers is meant to do a certain thing.
That means, hold on, we're still getting the results as if we're still using our hands.
We're using our hands. The beavers were supposed to deliver on certain things, and they're telling us that you were able to rig with the beavers. Are we not listening to ourselves? We had said with these beavers machine that we created, you won't be able to rig anymore. We had it now. What are we saying here? Mahmoud said it.
But you said something about the scale earlier.
Yes.
I was hoping to hear that.
Yes.
So in this case here, with the beavers' involvement, what are you rating it? How much was he able to stave off rigging and influencing the electoral process?
Annie, it is about
between 1 to 10.
It is about what I was told as the person who is buying this implement.
That's what you were told.
Yes.
I'm saying
no. I want to build to that. I want to build to that.
You've already built before.
Okay.
Tell us now. Scale it for us between 1 to 10.
Between 1 to 10, I did not see anything significant.
So
I'm just saying to us that the beavers was created to deliver on certain askings. Yes.
Scale this thing for us now.
So I should, or whether the beavers performed better than the manual, the hand.
What we used to know before.
What we used to know before,
the introduction of beavers.
Annie.
So between 1 to 10, scale the
yes,
beavers.
Annie, let me tell you how I'm going to scale it. What we used to know before, there was no beavers, no technology.
Yeah.
So it was understood the way the
card reader.
No, before the card. No, I said post.
No.
You know, I said post 1960.
Stay with card reader.
Okay. Let's listen. The card reader had incident form, so I understand thoroughly that because of the incident form that we had, there was the possibility of the firing that we saw.
Is there card
so
reader
I
now?
understood.
Is there firing?
Yeah. So I'm not saying that. I did not expect that given these beavers that they are told those had capacity to prevent firing. That's my word. Don't check it in the English dictionary. Given the fact that they had said it had no capacity, and you don't understand, they sold us, they guide us. This is 419. That's what I'm making people understand.
My question now.
Yes.
Scale it. Don't say another one apart from scaling.
So there's no difference.
Zero
Compared to what it was yesterday.
That's what I'm doing here.
The fire that we had
is still there.
Yesterday is what if you told me that Beavers was going to deliver on this result, and the time came, Beavers was unable, and you're not telling me it's because of the hand that is using the Beaver. In the first place, you is building that system. Did you not know that there was a tendency to have hands that will come in to thwart it?
You just said something now. You said during the card reader period, there was incident forms.
Yes.
This time around,
they said no incident form.
There was none.
Yes,
there was no incident form.
Yes, Annie.
And the Beavers needed to accredit you before you could go ahead to vote.
Absolutely.
If you are unable to be accredited, there was no voting.
Absolutely.
Meaning that you can't fill an incident form.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You don't think that brought any form of change?
Annie, I'm saying that. I'm saying that change for me is not consequential.
It's zero.
Because what I'm looking at is if you did that, Annie, I sold you a Mercedes Benz.
Forget what you sold to me. I'm asking here. You must understand what is not involved at play here. What is not involved at play here is phantom voting. People who know that they don't have what was it? What do we used to use? The one we're using card reader. It was still a PVC, right?
Yes.
Yes. Their PVCs were not genuine.
Yes.
And in case the card reader didn't read it, which a card reader will not read because it's not genuine,
they will give the incident form and they will rig.
And they will rig.
And they will use it to rig. And did they still rig? Did they still rig with these Beavers?
Hold on. Then what that means is that in areas where you expect to see 5,000 voters, that because of the incident form, you
see 30,000.
You see 30,000. And in that 30,000, somebody can decide, look, I'm going to give myself
26,000, yes, and give the rest people.
The rest people can.
And you're already answering the question that you want to ask.
I'm going to where I'm going to.
Yes.
And I'll give the rest their 5,000 or their 4,000 to share. So that means we'll have seen figures inflated in certain manner.
Absolutely.
Now, with the Beavers, were we able to see just that section alone?
Yes. I like the question you're asking. Please be fast with this, I can answer it.
The Beavers alone, were we able to see such inflation?
Of numbers? And did we not see it? Okay, Obiakpo. Call Obiakpo local government into question. Labour Party, PDP, APC. Results as was declared by INEC. And result that was populated on the platform. Go compare the results. You will see that the rigging that we used to see yesterday still took place.
How? What was on the platform?
Did you not see Labour Party result on the platform? I can quickly call it up right now. The Labour Party result on the platform versus the result that was declared.
I'm talking about the total. Look at the total.
Yes, 1 minute, Annie. But it was the result that was declared.
No, it's the total.
You would shut that.
The total of the people who actually came out to vote.
You don't get it. I am not so much about what you people are because the Beavers. I'm not so much about what you people are concerned about that. Okay, right now, yesterday they could say it was 2 million people, but today now the rigging took place within just only 1 million people. That's what you're saying. But Annie, my question is, did they still rig? If they were still able to rig, then did the Beavers perform the function that it was meant to function, which was to prevent that rigging of yesterday? Did they still rig? I'm not talking about the magnitude of rigging now, but they rigged.
The question we're asking here remains, what was the grand total? Then you can come to your question of whether within the numbers rigged is what we should be looking at, or whether a rigging at all happened.
Annie, the grand total might have been smaller
than
what it was.
No. It's not smaller. What I'm looking at, you said what was up and what was on IREV, right?
Yes, the grand total was same.
It was same.
Yes,
the same.
The grand total was same, Annie. Okay. But guess what? They then moved the figures around. They moved the figures from Labour Party and moved it to APC. They moved the figures, but the grand total was the same. So they rigged against the grand total and gave APC a lot of votes. Meanwhile, the reality on ground was that Labour Party had more votes with that grand total.
The question I'm asking here now will be, where did you see the movement of Labour Party's votes?
What was that was announced? What was that was mutilated from Obiakpo local government that got to the level that it was announced versus what was eventually posted?
Where?
On their portal.
On IREV? By what? What sent it to IREV?
By the machine. By the machine that was brought about by the people who were at at the polling unit. Who were at the polling unit, and the people who took the polling agents, they had their vote from all the different polling units.
You can't be shouting at the same time, but we're trying to talk here now.
Okay.
Get your share.
Yes, Annie. They were polling agents in every polling unit, and they signed their results. Yes.
When you go to the IREV
yes, please,
and you check out what is coming out there, you'll find out it's tallying with what your polling agents have.
In some cases. And in some other cases. No, and in some other cases.
In most cases.
As a matter of fact, Lagos.
Hold on. I'm looking at Obia, but don't go to Lagos. Because it is in those most cases that you have people saying, look, you have announced something that is not corresponding with what you have on your IREV for Obiakpo. That's what the situation on ground is. You have announced something completely different from what we have on the IREV for Obiakpo. Meaning that which was mutilated is what was sent to the collation office. Collation office was what sent that to Abuja. IREV now, which is where some of us are now, it didn't come up at real time, which I want to believe is where the problem is, because INEC had promised that it will happen real time. Now, we didn't see that happen real time. So all of this is just coming up now. And we're beginning to see, if you collate everything that comes from Obiakpo, it's very different from what you read for us from Abuja, or even here in Port Harcourt, when you announced the results that Obiakpo brought in a certain figure and so party won. Very different from the collation if you go to IREV. And I'm saying it is still the beavers eventually, because in most cases, Festus Okoye had mentioned it, that when you take the picture of what you have and you send it, you upload it, it may not go. Network issues, whatever issues, it may not go. But that once you move out from that location, it will go. And it is irreversible.
Annie?
Hold on, I've not finished. It is irreversible. So it is possible that while they were at those polling units trying to, it didn't go, or it has gone, it didn't matter, and then they left to go and do their adjustments. What they have already sent has already gone up, and you can't change it.
So, Annie, can I speak now? Annie, do you not think that therein even lies a big problem that we are not even seeing? Exactly. That the INEC person said that wherever they did that election, that they snapped and they tried to send, that it may not go. Why did you deploy it, Annie? Are we not asking critical? You know what you just said now. You said
it was network. It was issue of network. So, but here, what I'm also looking at, he said it may not go. But that once you move away from that place, what you try to upload goes. It's just the same thing with your text message.
Yes.
You might send a text message to someone, now it won't deliver.
Yes.
But after a while, it drops. The other person will receive it.
Yes.
And it's simply network.
Yes.
What I appreciate about it is that once that action has been initiated, it is irreversible.
Yes. But again, Annie, I am of the school of thought that believes that largely, that if we had relied on everything about the beavers as sold to us, we would have had a different fate with this presidential election. But what was sold us, what was told us by INEC people, exactly is not what we saw on the field. They said they were going to do X, Y, Z, and we're seeing something different there. It simply meant, Annie, in simple trade term, you told me if I bought this key or this phone, it would deliver on XYZ.
Right.
And if I took it home and it's unable to deliver on XYZ, will I call that thing a game changer for me? I bought it with the intention, with the belief that once I got to start using it, it was going to deliver this level of excellence to me. It not go to me, Annie. It did not deliver that to me. So how will you call that a game changer now? Rigging still took place. You told us that there will not be rigging, the possibility of rigging. Rigging still took place. So it's not a game changer. But it's not a time you give me a game changer that will make it impossible for those people who are manipulating it to manipulate it.
I want to get back to Dr. Bitima, who is trying to get a word or two in here. Dr. Bitima?
Every time was.
No, just a word or two, please.
No, don't constrain me.
I will constrain you because I'm the timekeeper.
No, you have to taking all the time.
It's my show. I invited you to the show. You will not tell me how to run it. You are neither INEC nor Beavers. So, you will not tell me how to run the show. I said a word or two.
Annie, let me tell you the practical thing that you are missing. One, INEC said, from what we heard from their branch in Port Harcourt, that every beaver is configured to a unit and cannot function outside that unit. Again, what happened practically on that day is that their so-called supervisors, honest supervisors, the code they ought to have given out to the presiding officers were not given. So at the time of collating this resource, after counting it, segregating it to different parties and us, now to snap was an issue. To blow was an issue. And these presiding officers were not coming out plainly to tell us their challenges, or not to know that somebody was holding the code, did not give the presiding officer the code that they can use and do this thing immediately. And if that thing is done immediately at the unit, would have had a seamless process. These results would have been transmitted and everybody would have gone home, because definitely immediately it transmits. Nothing it can do with that machine again. There is no way it can change anything from that machine again. What happened in Obiabo? That the whole thing was shut down. They now carried out the machines, circumvented the process. The Work Collation Center was circumvented. There was nothing like Work Collation Center again. They moved straight to local government.
Okay.
Now,
is that the fault of Beavers?
Nothing more to Beavers.
Is that the fault of Beavers?
Wait, now listen now.
Just wrap up, please.
Listen, why I say it is the fault. Because they say Beaver cannot function outside the unit. But we saw the Beaver now functioning.
How? What function was it doing?
Outside the unit. How can you go on the local government to go and transmit result? From the outside the
when they said you
unit.
can't function outside its unit, what they meant was that you can't take the beavers from this unit to go to the next unit and use it for the people in the next unit. That's what it means.
Excuse me, Annie.
Sir?
That is not what we are told.
Okay.
That's not what we are told. And the results will be transmitted from the unit there. And as soon as result is transmitted, even if you have captured the result, and you had the code, fix the code, and maybe there's network issue, your agent can follow you. Maybe at the point it will just go. But this one never had no code.
All right.
The presiding officer didn't have any code.
Okay.
So they went there to the Obiabo local government council, lock up the gate with security people, securing the place. That's why the code now, they were using the code to transmit all the manipulated results they did.
All right, then.
And are you aware that in Osun State, INEC gave certified true
I'm moving on
copies?
now here. Thank you very much. Akpotive Andy and Dr. Obidima, we got your thoughts on that here. You can tell me this much later, but we don't have time for that.
Okay.
So
I just needed to...
No, it's okay, but we don't have time. There are plenty of things to touch on the papers this
It's
morning.
all right.
Plenty. In the Punch, we've got political dynasty. Children, spouses of elite ruling class set for 10th National Assembly. And then we've got here, it says Nigeria cast their ballots in the first batch of the 2023 general elections on February 25, 2023. Winners have since emerged from the presidential, senatorial, and House of Representatives elections. Meanwhile, many children and spouses of the elite, especially politicians, were elected and will be members of the 10th National Assembly. This is independent of those who are contesting House of Assembly seats in their respective states. First, Sadiq Ango Abdullahi, the chairman of the Northern Elders Forum. Professor Ango Abdullahi is no doubt an influential Nigerian, a former vice chancellor of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He was a commissioner for economic planning in the North Central State between 1973 and 1975. He once served as a member representing Zaria North constituency in Kaduna State. He was a special advisor to President Olusegun Obasanjo on food and security from 1999 to 2003. However, his son Sadiq has been elected into the House of Representatives to represent Sabon Gari Federal Constituency in Kaduna State on the platform of the PDP. He defeated Garba Detti Mohammed of the All Progressive Congress, who was seeking a fourth term. Sadiq kicked him out and moved in. Joshua Jerry Gana. Joshua is the son of Professor Jerry Gana, Nigeria's former Minister of Information and founding National Secretary of the PDP. The younger Gana has won an election to represent Lavu Mokwa Adati Federal Constituency in Niger State at the House of Representatives. The senior Gana had held various political offices for over 3 decades. He was elected a senator in 1983, but the coup that brought in General Muhammadu Buhari to power would not allow him, like other elected lawmakers, to serve. He was chairman of the Mass Mobilization for Social and Economic Recovery under the General Ibrahim Babangida-led regime. Under the military regime and democratic administrations led by President Olusegun Obasanjo, Ghana was at various times Information and Culture Minister for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Minister for Cooperation and Integration in Africa, and Minister of Information and National Orientation. He was a presidential aspirant under the SDP. All right, moving on. We've got Ayodeji Adebayo Alao Akala. Olamiju Alao Akala, son of a former governor of Oyo State, the late Adebayo Alao Akala, has won the Ogbomosho North, Ogbomosho South, Orire federal constituency seat at the House of Reps. A member of the APC, the younger Alao Akala was the chairman of Ogbomosho North local government area. Meanwhile, his father was a retired assistant commissioner of police before becoming a deputy governor between 2003 and 2006. Benny Solomon Law. Benny, a lawyer, is the eldest daughter of former governor of Plateau State and one of the founding fathers of the PDP, the late Solomon Law. She has now been re-elected to represent Langtang North, a South federal constituency in Plateau State for a 5th term. In the last election, she defeated a former minister of sports and candidate of the STP, Solomon Dalong. The junior Law was elected to office of reps in 2007 and became chairman, House Committee on Women Affairs. She was re-elected in 2011 and became chairman, Committee on Human Rights. In 2015, during her 3rd term in the House, she was chairman, Committee on Science and Technology, a position she maintained in the current 9th House. Then we've got Olumide Olusegun Osoba, a son of former Governor Olusegun Osoba of Ogun State. Olumide has been re-elected as a member to represent Abeokuta North, Odeda Obafemi Owode Federal Constituency of Ogun State in the 10th Assembly. He is currently the chairman of the House Committee on Sports Development. Olumide, a member of the APC, a party in which his father is influential in the state, defeated one of the daughters of late MKO Abiola, Reinsola, who is a candidate of the Action Democratic Party. Then there's Akim Alafin Adeyemi, one of the sons of the late Alafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi. Akim has been re-elected for a 3rd term at the House of Reps. He has been representing Afijo, Atiba, Oyo East, Oyo West Federal Constituency in Oyo State since 2015. Then we've got Moshood Oba Akiolu of Lagos. Moshood, the son of the Oba of Lagos, Rilwan Akiolu, has been re-elected to represent Lagos Island Federal Constituency 2 at the House of Reps. The 10th Assembly will be his 2nd term at the Green Chamber. The Lagos Prince, a member of the APC, is currently the vice chairman of the House Committee on Northeast Development Commission. Then we've got Blessing David Mark. Blessing Onu is representing Otukpo, Ohimini Federal Constituency of Benue State at the House of Reps. She's the daughter of a former president of the Senate, David Mark. Interestingly, Onu contested against Mark's cousin, Umahi Ahubi, the then Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly for the PDP ticket in 2019 and lost. She got the ticket of the All Progressives Grand Alliance and defeated her uncle in the election. Having lost the ticket of Abga and defected to the APC, she has now been re-elected. Her father represented Benue South Senatorial District from 1999 to 2019, during which he was Senate President for 8 years, the longest by any senator till date. Of course. Then there is, I don't know if Andy Akpotiva will help me with this name.
Yes, miss.
Eriatike, James Ibori's Eri.
I'm the last person. I'm the last person to ask. I'm like Badebo from Lagos. They say he cannot speak Yoruba.
He can't speak Yoruba. He wants to be governor of Lagos State.
And I want to be governor of Delta State.
You can't be.
For what?
You can't pronounce his name.
Why would you be?
Why you can't pronounce this
We
name
are saying
now?
that when I cannot pronounce the name. Erikefe, I think so, right?
Eriatake or something like. Let's just call Atake.
Okay.
Ibori Suenu won the Itope Federal Constituency election in Delta State on the platform of the PDP. She defeated the incumbent Ben Igbapa of the New Nigerian People's Party. Igbapa was a member of PDP until he lost his re-election ticket in the party's primary. Despite that, Ibori Suenu is the daughter of a former governor of Delta State, James Ibori, the godfather of the PDP in the state. She secured the same number of votes with Igbapa in the primary. The tie led to a runoff where she eventually won. Igbapa later defected to NNPP. Bello Nasser Erifai. Bello, one of the sons of the governor of Kaduna State, Nasser Erifai, will in the 10th Assembly represent Kaduna North Federal Constituency. He contested the election on the platform of the APC and defeated the incumbent Suleiman Abdu of the PDP by 51,052 votes to 34,808. The governor has been in the public space for a while under the Olusegun Obasanjo administration, and then among different appointments, he was the director of the Bureau of Public Procurement. He was also secretary of the National Council on Privatization under the leadership of the Vice President Atiku Abubakar, which spearheaded the sale and commercialization of public assets. He was also minister of the Federal Capital Territory between 2003 and 2007. He has been the governor of Kaduna State since 2015. Then we've got Abba Ibrahim. Khadija Abba Ibrahim represented Damaturu, Gujiba, Gulani, Tarmua in Yobe State. Before becoming the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs between 2016 and 2019, she returned to the House for a third term and is now Chairman, House Committee on Northeast Development Commission. She has been re-elected for another term on the platform of the APC. Khadija is married to Senator Bukar Abba Ibrahim, who was the governor of Yobe State in the defunct Third Republic on the platform of the SDP. Abba Ibrahim then joined the Senate in 2007, where he was till 2019. Okay, that's his wife now. Okay, I've got 3 more. I don't think I'll read the entire thing. There's Baba Jimmy, T.O.S. Benson's son. Then there's Abdulaziz Umar Yaradua's younger brother. And then, let me see, there's one more person.
Sule Lamido, Jigawa, all his family members.
Regina George Akume, Regina, wife of a former governor of Benue State, is also in the House of Assembly. So, but my question here is that, are we saying that because they've got popular parents or popular spouses who have been politicians for ages that they shouldn't contest and they shouldn't vie for these positions? Is that the yardstick with which we're looking at this thing?
I don't think that yardstick would be a nice one. No, it shouldn't be. Because in the first place, there are some members of these influential families who will certainly not want to be a politician and so will not vie for any political position. So I think it's because they in the first place accept, that's why they're vying. But as for winning, they certainly must win, Annie. I tell you, because I have said politics, of course, around the world, it's all about money. You must have money in the first place to be able to see you through before you start fighting, whether you succeed or not. And so their parents have built these financial empires. And so they'll support their children very well to a high extent. Even as you see Autumn lose and the Igbes, all the rest of them, don't worry much about. Tomorrow you may hear their children occupying these positions in whichever states they come from. So I think that is just the way, because their parents are influential, because in Nigeria especially, political clout does not count. It is how much they have oiled the wheels for you that you mount the platform. Yeah. That is exactly what counts. And that is why these people will keep on. If I were having, even in my dream, the desire to become a politician, I really don't know how I can be facing somebody that Lawan, the Senate president, will say, my son, go and fight Emmanuel Ndukwe.
But Lawan even lost his candidate, APC candidate in his constituency, lost.
And you saw also how Lawan won.
All right,
well, I think this thing reminds me of the Bible story of Job and Esau. And that's what is happening in our political environment. And it's quite instructive, especially to our youth. Now, when the politicians exchange the money, they give you the money, they collect your destiny, and they do well with their children, they continue to flourish with their children. They use you as stocks, they use you as a ballot snatcher, somebody they can use to create violence, to beat, to shoot, to kill, while their children are being prepared to lead. You become an ordinary person throughout your life, and they will hand over to their children. I hope if our youth are listening, they should begin to have a rethink of how they go into this politics and how they allow themselves to be used by the politicians. Jacob, when Esau was so hungry, he had to give up his right to get a porridge of food to eat. And that's how they have weaponized poverty in the land. So when it comes to election time like this, they give you 20,000, 10,000, 2,000, rice, wrapper, and they take what is your future, what is your destiny. They don't know that spiritually there's a transaction. And when this thing will manifest, when it will come to play, you will not, you begin to say, whether witch in my village is worrying me and all those things. No witch, you are the one who sold your birthright. You are the one who sold your destiny to these politicians and their children, because they will now accumulate money. They will position their children. Their children are not used as thugs. Their children are not used to fight during elections. Their children are nowhere to be seen. But today, we are now seeing their children, hearing about their children. They are now moving to the National Assembly. Tomorrow, the next thing, their governors, their president. My own is to end this analysis of admonishing our youth and the people that allow themselves to be used in politics to do wickedness.
Go you there. Engineer here again.
Okay, it is the wish and desire of every good parent that their children do better than them. And on that note, I will say I commend the parents that have cleared the way for their children to become what they are becoming. That being said, I will not sit here and begin to now castigate those children that have won their various elections in their various states. They didn't ask that they be born from the loins of those politicians. As God would want it, they came out from the loins of those guys, and by so they got privileged. So they are not actually the problem, but rather the problem is we Nigerians that don't want to learn, that always gives opportunity to these politicians to always, look down on us, do whatever they like. Now, as Doctor said earlier, this is an electionary period. Last, on the 25th, people that were moving from one polling unit to another, snatching ballots, are not politician children. They are young men, able-bodied men from villages, who are given peanuts and some drinks and some smokes, and they are ready to do anything. So it is high time that Nigerians wake up, especially the young ones, and begin to ask themselves some salient questions. Because the truth is, no politician bring out their children, during the electionary period. Now, I remember I listened to Mr. Peter Obi during campaign. There was in one of his lectures, he said something. He said the daughter is a teacher, so he teaches in Anambra. So, but because of this election period, so he told her to, to resign from that job because of security reasons. Now, truth is that many of these politicians, I've never seen any politician child coming out during campaign. We are putting on a campaign cap and uniform to campaign for their parents. But at the end of the day, they are the sole beneficiaries of the largesse, of the enjoyment. So I congratulate them.
All right.
And I also want to tell the youths in Nigeria to wake up, because at the end of the day, they are the ones on the losing side.
All right.
So I will not castigate those guys. They've done well for themselves. I rejoice with them. But it's time for us to also wake up to our responsibility and get involved in this political system.
Andy, let's move on to
not always being used as stocks.
Okay, so Annie, two people cannot be driving a car at the same time, and two people cannot also move the ship at the same time. There must be a captain. Even though you have a co-pilot, one actually is flying the plane. So there's nothing essentially wrong with, the children of politicians becoming whatever. In those days, our parents took to farming, and they always encourage all their children to go into farming. Tony Lumelu takes his daughter everywhere. Every meeting he's going to meet with presidents in the world. The daughter is following him because he's mentoring the daughter into whatever it is that he wants the daughter to become. So if the children of this politician have in all their lives been with their parents, and their parents have been politicians, there's nothing essentially wrong with that. What for me is annoying is where they are giving advantage over other people, right? So that the political structure within the state will not even give Anandi Akpotive the chance, because my father was never a politician. So the Boris daughter, who is currently also running in the House of Assembly, there's Uduagan's daughter, who is also running in our House of Assembly. They would take the position on a platter without even contestation. That's what is annoying for us. If you left the field, the ground to be a good level playing ground, I will not have any issue with, Anuduagan's daughter emerging. If she emerged and she won rightly, and she has the capacity to deliver on the askings of that office, I won't have a problem, with that essentially. But what I must say is, when we keep challenging the youth and making it look like if, it is because of the fact that they are giving us money, that's why the youth will allow these people to go. I ask the question, if they didn't take money, would you provide what they will use to survive to them? When I hear that narrative on social media and on the traditional media, don't take money, you sell your destiny when you take money. I'm often asking, what should they take?
Nothing.
Exactly, a person who has not fed, you have not provided for the person. You don't have a company that you have employed one or two people under.
It's natural to
you have not provided for them. And we are all singing some kind of songs on the radio. Hey, don't take money, don't take money, don't take this. First and foremost, what have you created in that society to make that society equal for that man who is taking money from that politician? You think he's happy taking money? You think that woman is happy taking money? You think those people in Ekpe and in Ikorodu are happy going to do riot now that, give us... They're not happy, Annie. But Annie, hunger is a leveler. It is a leveler. Today, what these people are saying don't take money ought to be doing is to help to fight in this society to create equality. Fight? What are they fighting? They say, we have expired. The youth, these days, Annie, there's a difference between YUT and YOUTH.
What's the Y?
YUT is what the youth. The youth. Which youth? Youth who you would send to school. Also we go on strike. They are going to be at home. You are not looking after them. You are not providing anything for them. You will sit down. Government will not be able to take care of them. Youth who you have completely neglected. Even in the days of our forefathers, Annie, my grandfather will carry everybody to the farm. They know they neglect also. They will give you portion. They'll say, this is your this and this is this. What I'm saying is, we can't always put the fault on youth. Let them listen. The parents simply have created the atmosphere that these children can thrive on. You as a parent, what have you created for your children? Listening to me right now, is it just to be putting blame on us? I'm a youth, yeah? So putting blame on us, youth rather, I'm not a youth.
Yeah,
but yes, putting blame on us. What have you provided? Common education. You haven't even equipped them with what it takes to even excel. And you are blaming them. You must equip a person. I mean, the parable of the sower is a parable that I love the most. Jesus never went, or the master never went to a person that he did not give a talent to ask a return from. He said he gave to some 5, to some 2, and 1. It was to those people that he gave talent that he went to demand for their result, for their return, for their revenue. You have not given people talent in the society, and you have the gumption to be saying, don't collect money. What should he collect now? Will he not survive? He will survive, and he has not sold any birthright. In any case, Annie, if you looked at even the scripture that Dr. Obidima cited, from Genesis, Bible says, Esau I hate and Jacob I love. It's not about the porridge. It's tokenistic to think it's just about the porridge. There are other circumstances around it
surrounding
that made for that. So I'm saying, make the firmament such that everybody can thrive in it and succeed. Then, yes, the political firmament, the environment. Then we can now go to the polls and contest with Dwagan's daughter and Ibori's daughter.
I continue, Andy. Thank you for your thoughts on that.
I want to within 4 years, what these people that collect money during the election, how do they exist? What do they eat after election till the next election? When they wait for this 20,000, no job, no nothing, nobody's giving you anything. How do they survive within 4 years before election?
Yeah, I guess the sentiment those people have is that you didn't collect the 20,000, you're still in the same thing. Nothing has happened to you. Your life didn't change. You didn't get any better for it too. You're still struggling. You're still out there on the streets looking for how to earn a living. At least I got 20,000 one time. This is I guess for the last.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's the
mentality. The funny thing is that
the point I'm trying to say is this. I think we should, in any platform, find ourselves to a kind of orient our youth, in a direction they should go. Because I know that in 1979, I finished my work in 1978.
That's a long time.
Yes. Now, 1979, there was an election in this country. And I acted as a polling agent. I say it every time. We didn't know the issue of collecting money. All our expectation that time was refreshment.
Because the corruption system has continually got worse.
Because the atmosphere was so that provided everything for them.
Even when we were resisting policies of government, students were involved in resisting the military government.
They were feeding the students in schools.
We are resisting this thing.
You were feeding the students in schools.
Excuse me. The point is that they were
washing their clothes.
Excuse me. The point is that they were feeding students. They were feeding students because students did what? Demanded for it. Stupidly, anything.
Students are
demanding for more. They have been demanding from Weekend to give bursary. There's no way they've not gone to. Weekend give us bursary. Weekend give them bursary.
They're not demanding.
I've got very little time.
Our students have never protested to government have to demand for bursary.
When we open the phone lines, right? When we open the phone lines, I'd like to have your thoughts on the issue on whether you think the Beavers was a game changer. If you think it was, let's know why you think. If it wasn't, let's also get your thoughts on why it wasn't a game changer. Then finally, I also like to get your thoughts on this last issue here. Wike Amechi resume fight over Igbo votes for Guba candidates. That story is in the Guardian newspaper. Wike Amechi resume fight over Igbo votes for Guba candidates. Ahead of Saturday's governorship and House of Assembly elections, the two political actors in River State, Governor Nyesom Wike and former Minister of Transportation and a leader of the All Progressives Congress in the state, Chibuike Amechi, have resumed a rivalry. This time, the duo are jostling for votes from the Igbo community in the state. Amechi had earlier met with the community during a stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt, assuring them that their properties, including houses lost during the Civil War between 1967 and 1970, will be given back to them if they vote right. He noted that if the Igbo who left their properties in Lagos and in the north got them back, the ones in River State should not be an exception. He therefore urged them to come out en masse and vote for the APC governorship candidate, Tonya Cole, on Saturday. But a few days after, Wike also organized an interactive meeting with Technical Dealers Association of Nigeria, Computer Dealers Association, Garrison Phone Dealers Association, and Building Materials Traders Association, who are majorly Igbo in Port Harcourt. He cautioned them against yielding to provocative utterances that can instigate violence by Amechi. Wike cited Amechi's promise to return property seized during Nigeria's civil war of over 50 50 years ago as one reason the electorate should be wary of the APC candidate Cole. He insisted that Cole and Amechi are insensitive to the danger, the animosity they were trying to resurrect through engender in the state because of their alleged inordinate and dubious quest for power. Wiki urged the Igbos to be wary of Amechi, who served as Minister of Transportation for 7 years but allegedly failed to revive eastern ports and railway lines from Enugu, Aba, Port Harcourt. The governor, while canvassing support for the PDP, announced the allocation of 150 plots of land to the Computer Dealers Association and 30 plots to Computer Dealers Association to develop an industrial park in Port Harcourt. Meanwhile, an APC chieftain, Chief Eze Chukwuemeka Eze, in a statement yesterday, commended the Igbo community in Rivers State for allegedly adopting the governorship candidate of the APC. Well, it's gone on and on. I'll just pause over there. What's this tussle with the Igbo community? How did they become the darlings of this election?
What
happened to we?
To the Urobo community.
To the Domas.
The Urobo community.
To the Igalas.
You know.
To the teams. Nobody's calling us.
Okay, they are calling us. They are calling the Robos.
Nobody's calling the
Robos. They are calling the Robos.
Nobody's calling the Robos.
They have called us already. We won't tell you where they called
Nobody's
us.
calling the Yoruba people.
Anna, you remember one time
How did the Igbos become the darlings of this election?
Long ago, when it was election time also, I said that if, for instance, you are born and you find yourself in what we technically call minority, there's nothing you can do. You can't fight yourself, neither can you fight God. That is just how you are. Just like a man will be born and you find yourself very short. Your males have grown up and you are very short. Can you regret yourself? The answer is no. So, they are for Igbos now because Igbos will give them block votes. When the fruit is in the tree and it has not ripened, nobody looks at it. As soon as it ripens, people will be, even those who cannot reach it will be throwing stones for it to mistakenly fall down. That is exactly what is going on. It's part of politics. Now, if Wike's group is saying Amechi is telling these other people, why should they be telling them over 50 years ago, whatever, to bring problem? Now, is it this PDP you're also telling them to vote that will solve the problem, or the problem should be left? In Lagos, they were able to get back their properties. Now in Rivers State, you are saying everything is foreclosed and all.
Yeah, he said don't revive it. These are
Annie, nobody is reviving
these are
anything.
skeletons or wrong gone. Why trying to water it?
See, nobody. And what I'm telling you, Annie, is just politics. Nobody is reviving anything. See, the Igbos, if you don't give them that property, they will continue. It's their nature.
Yeah, okay, we understand. Nature or not. What brought the Igbos into the conversation anyways? Why are we not talking about Amechi and Wike looking for the Urobos?
No, Annie.
Why are they not talking to the Nupe people?
No, see,
Annie, Yoruba.
Let me answer it.
Yeah, now answer
Very
it.
simple.
The people are not. They are not plenty.
If you are looking for where to buy
Nupe people are but they are fun. They are tweeting.
They are not
They are
plenty.
tweeting. Those four are tweeting.
They are not plenty.
If
They are
you are
tweeting
looking
inside
for
one
where
room.
to buy something cheap, you head to Aba, even though there is no road there. No road to get there, but you just struggle and go to Aba to buy it cheap. That is it. The Igbos are many in Port Harcourt, and they will give them block vote. That block vote of Port Harcourt here will compensate for everything in Rivers State. That is why APC is looking for the PDP, because this is invariably another way of using them. SDP
Has gotten them. Has gotten them. It's not looking for them.
SDP
We have got them.
They've endorsed
They've endorsed him. They've endorsed my candidate. They've endorsed.
They endorsed
we're all magnified already.
They endorsed a Labour Party. They endorsed APC. They
No. They just endorsed my candidate alone.
Oh no!
They said something about me a couple of days back now that they
group
endorsed.
endorsed is different. Another group of
No,
people
the real group endorsed Magnus Abbey.
Who makes your group the real group?
Because it's the voice of the Igbos in Rivers State now.
so?
The voice of they've endorsed my candidate, and I can show you.
I distance myself from the one that is real or fake. All I know is that they are talking about Igbos here.
All right then.
It's politics.
Doctor, let's get your thoughts here.
Actually, before now,
Why did the darlings?
even before this politics, they say when they say the Igbo population is small, I think they put it as 11 point something million or so.
Where?
The southeast. Eh? I said, look, people don't know the huge Igbo population in Lagos. That of Port Harcourt, Kano. I've lived in Kano, you know. And the problem is that before now, Igbos in Kano, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt don't come out to vote. This time around, even in Nasarawa, in Benue, this time around, it's like
Jos, Abuja.
Peter Obi gave that kind of glimmer of hope for a new Nigeria, and two, with the promises of INEC, how this election will be and all those things actually aroused that kind of interest. And Igbos were ready now to vote. They were sure that, yes, anywhere they are, Obi was sending messages, meeting them, and they were coming out in their numbers. Why are they a kind of a darling now? The point is that I'm in politics. You see, when you hear, these Igbo people came, they endorse, and they may not be more than 5. They say the Igbos have endorsed this person, and all those stuff. They have their preferences, no doubt. You know, they have their this thing. Sometimes you meet some of them. They are saying that what we did to P2B in that election, they are going to pay them back. Not even the Igbos, even the other people from other Akwa Ibom, Delta, Edo that are living here. They say yes, they wanted to vote P2B for president and vote PDP for governor. But what happened in that election, they're changing their mind. Is going to be Obi party throughout as a kind of support for him. They are not just Igbos. But now, why is it that everybody is caught? Actually, the Igbo population is huge in River State. No doubt about that. And most of them came out to register during the continuous registration exercise. Unfortunately, that one of our former governors is bringing the abundant property issue. I think that should not deceive the Igbos. Because you ask, what did he do when he was governor?
Even as speaker.
You know, as speaker, did he change the law? Because there was an edict, a military edict, backing that, that committee was headed by